There it is. This will definitely come in handy tonight. We're going to need the phone for tonight's discussion. So these stupid little stands that get caught on things and you're trying to get them set up because like, hey, I need that for the first time in 6 months. Pop the phone on that sucker and let's get going with a chat stream here at about 7 o'clock my time here at Jay's Geek House. What is up, everybody? This is Jay, aka MultimediaJay. Let's clear up the first problem with the last stream that I did right now. What's up, everybody? This is Jay, aka MultimediaJay. Problem solved. So the audio last night, and this is why we're gonna do some recap on a few things. The audio last night was extremely radioed out to death and totally overproduced. I was listening to it afterwards and I was like, that sounds like the Logitech G voice turned on to the bass boost preset, and it sounded awful. So I checked, and yes, there was a driver update. Looks like there's already, looks like there's some problems with the drop frames too, unlike last night. This ISP, it's just, they got to get their stuff together. I know it's Labor Day weekend and whatnot, but yeah. So I received a notification, or excuse me, I noticed last night, or no, there was a driver update. That's what it was. There was a driver update, and this driver update basically did its thing, and it actually changed some default settings and whatnot. And the setting that I was playing around with the last time I had Logitech G Voice turned on this microphone, the last time I had Logitech G Voice turned on this channel, on this microphone, it was channel. Why do I think I can turn on a voice filter on the entire channel? It's been a long week. The last time I had G Voice or whatever it is on here, I was playing with the bass boost preset. So apparently, it's one of those situations where, because you have software controlling hardware, sometimes the polling rate isn't exactly, there isn't a polling rate, so things can get changed, and unless the software knows that it was changed, it doesn't know that it was changed. So something got reset to default, and this microphone was cranking bass boost and overproducing the living daylights out of me because OBS does some processing of its own. When Logitech G gets involved, it gets even worse. And I don't care how popular it is with streamers these days, I hate the sound of like it's an overproduced Skype call. At some point, if you want real effects on your audio, you need to get some real equipment. You can't just be winging it with software. There's a reason why this prosumer equipment like Blue Yetis and things like that, these things that are supposed to give you good sound quality and consumer grade stuff at the same time, there's a reason why prosumer equipment hasn't replaced high-end stuff, and this is one of them right here. So you cannot be depending upon software whatsoever to make up for the need to upgrade your equipment, just like you can't put bazillions of filters on something like this crappy webcam and have that replace the need to, if you want better image quality, get a better image sensor, doing all the stuff for you, which probably means getting a better camera. So you can only tune and modify and optimize so much before you need better source material. Classic presentation thing. So we're going to keep an eye on this bandwidth meter tonight. Mostly stuff to talk about, and I want to see what's going on with these drop frames. Or is it a CPU thing? Because something's going on in the background. The last time I had this, I did check and see that, nope, all right, we'll just pause updates here. There was some traffic going out to the Windows Update service, and I was like, what's this? Check the event log, and I was like, I thought I had that paused. Why is this system still beaming home to the mothership? Oh, wait, it's Windows 10. All right, so what we're going to do tonight is we're going to catch up on pretty much everything. What we're going to do tonight is we are going to catch up on pretty much everything that's been piling up this past week, including a recap of what we talked about last time. The stream from last time wound up getting converted over to a video because I was going over some gaming segments from Sega Master Tim, or some gaming setups from Sega Master Tim's Twitter. And one of them, unfortunately, had the email address of the person. It was a Hotmail address, so probably just a throwaway thing for gaming. But it was still an email address. I don't want my channel to be a source of spam for anybody. And quite frankly, Tim should take a look at that in the pictures he puts on his Twitter, because I think he gets those from Reddit and stuff like that. So he should definitely take a look at and be very cautious and cognizant of the kinds of unintended consequences that his channel or that his Twitter could possibly be for people. So we have a whole bunch of stuff to talk about. It's been a very busy week. The reason why you haven't been seeing anything from me is because of a little something going on with the 9-to-5ers, which I think we should recap in a much, much shorter and much less snarky summary here. So, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, overtime. Why? The run-up to Labor Day. Why? Because the management decided to try and take what is normally a time-and-a-half holiday for us and turn it into a day-off holiday. Now, the way these 9-to-5ers work, there's two kinds of holidays. You have day-off holidays and time-and-a-half holidays. Day-off holidays are pretty simple. You get holiday pay if you work the day before and after and don't call off and stuff. It's pretty cool. You know, get to enjoy the holiday and still get paid. Pretty simple stuff, right? So, basic holiday pay, etc. A time-and-a-half holiday is that plus the hours you work between midnight and midnight on the day of the calendar holiday are time and a half. So I did a sanity check after I talked about this last night with a little bit of conjecture. I logged into my thing for like checking pay stubs and stuff. And the one from Labor Day of last year, the pay period including that Monday, had 8 hours holiday pay plus 8 hours holiday overtime. I guess we started early or something. Or maybe they were just being generous. And maybe they're just being generous because the shift is 4:30 to 1 a.m. So technically an hour past the cutoff point for holiday overtime because it's the day after at midnight. But maybe someone was being generous. But it was really cool. It was really cool. And yes, that is a thing. But as you can imagine, part of managers' jobs is to manage budgets and labor and stuff like that, and they're responsible for making budget, as they call it. Instead of like a production person picking orders, making rates, the managers have to make budget. And so there was obviously this attempt to try and not have to work the holiday if we could avoid it, because a time-and-a-half holiday is essentially a penalty to the budget for having to work on a holiday. So these folks went for it. Corporate fired back and said, nope, you can't close the building that long. You got to serve it. You got to do some orders at some point during that weekend, and it can't be on Monday. Little too long of a gap. A little too long of a, or whatever it was, or whatever. So here are these folks all gung-ho, usually what is a very lucrative time-and-a-half holiday. Oh, yeah, we're just going to work extra the week before and then have the day off. Well, now we've worked extra the week before, and we have a time-and-a-half holiday. So I'm guessing that nobody in charge at this place is ever going to attempt something like this ever again if they can help it. Guys, I mean, they could have just not been so aggressive with what they were doing and saved some work for or whatever. They could have just moved things around in the schedule for the normal setup. I don't think it's going to be a long night on Monday anyways. The other part of the whole time-and-a-half holiday thing is usually they do everything they can. They usually do everything they can there to make sure you're in the building as few hours as possible because they're paying such a premium for you being there. Automatic time-and-a-half just for being there. Nice for people that work there, but a nightmare for the people that are like, you can't spend more than blah, blah, blah per month and crap like that. That's one of the reasons, by the way, folks, why labor advocacy exists, because the system, by virtue of being what it is, creates a difference between the interests of people working at a place and people in charge of a place. And it's been that way for pretty much as long as industrial America has existed. That's why there's this back and forth between labor and capital and all that other stuff like that. So it was, needless to say, an incredibly, incredibly busy week. Didn't do much except work and sleep, but now, because corporate shot down the whole time-and-a-half holiday thing from the management's perspective, from our perspective, they just moved the day off. So we just don't go in Sunday, but we're working Monday night, which, being on the holiday, should mean holiday overtime. So extra overtime for last week and some holiday overtime for this coming week. That's cool. That's cool. make some money for a change. And in this environment where things are usually slow enough that they do way too much VTO most of the rest of the year. Of course, I did check the numbers for when everything dropped off, and it was shortly after Labor Day last year. You're back to regular VTO all the time, and that is just not something I'm going to keep on dealing with. I decided to be a full-time employee for a reason, and that is to make full-time income, not to be in some environment where we start attracting progressively lazier people who want a VTO all the time. It just doesn't work that way. Sorry. These people have a decision to make. Who do they want on their team? And I don't mean people. I mean what kinds of people. Because I've seen this summer just how people can cry and moan and whine and sulk because for once in their life, they actually have to work full-time hours as a full-time employee. Oh, no, you have to work 40 hours like your parents and grandparents did at their jobs. Poor, sweet baby. Go grab a pacifier. I just don't get it. I know we live in the day and age of the anti-work subreddit and all this other crap. I know we live in the day and age of all of this, but no. Yeah, part of life is rising to challenges. If you coast, oh, here we go. There is clearly still an ISP problem around here. If you coast, you get soft. All right, I think I'm calling the ISP. It won't be too late to call. But we just got some more dropped frames and probably some more animation screwiness. If you coast, you get soft. It's that simple. Life is about meeting challenges and overcoming them. It's about something happens that challenges you to get better. Something happens that challenges you to get better. And you rising to the challenge. Not you getting everything handed to you and then you can't handle any challenges. Just the way it goes. It's better if you can handle healthy challenges for yourself than to simply coast. Anyways, that's the quick, what are we at? 15 minutes live time instead of taking a half hour just talking about that stuff. I suppose that's an improvement. Since I am actually well rested now, instead of at the end of a long, crazy work week, despite the internet acting up yet again, this is the most unreliable this internet has ever been. That is clearly storm damage, and I'm done complaining about this. I'm calling the ISP after the stream. It'll be like 9, 10 o'clock at night on a Friday, but they have 24-hour service. So, and we'll actually have a line test run as well and see if anything flags and that sort of thing. There's a bunch of things that have been piling up while I've been doing all of this running around, and I want to catch up on literally everything and have this be the chat stream to end them all. Yeah, let this be the chat stream to end them all, because streaming, I was watching not the Game Chasers, that's tomorrow night. I was watching Retro Tech RGB, whatever the heck it was. Retro RGB, that's right. I was watching a CRT stream of a guy working on some tube TVs with one of the folks in the retro scene earlier today. About like 100 concurrents at the most on a channel with like 50,000 subscribers. And I'm like, this is what streaming on YouTube looks like when it's done right. You know, you have an established presence as a content creator, and streaming is just a little bonus. It's not something that you are, it isn't something that you are made or broken by. And so probably the other thing I should talk about in terms of recapping what's been going on is what's going to go on now that we are into what Twitch calls September. I'm getting out of the Twitch ecosystem. I went through this afternoon and I removed some videos and streams that referenced various Twitch streamers, including some that referenced Vindalia. I mean, I'll keep that clip where I won the Splatter Day contest on my stream for the first time. But as far as Twitch goes, I have seen enough with the drama that festers over there on that platform. I have seen enough of this drama that festers. I've seen enough of streamers destroying themselves in the Twitch ecosystem. And I'm seeing enough of these people just gradually ending up feeling like more and more things are getting more and more futile for them as Twitch streamers. I'm at the end of my patience with this platform. It looked like a promising YouTube competitor when I first went to it, as many other people around 2019, 2020 could have told you. at the time. They probably went to Twitch because it looked like a place with less screwy algorithms and less bureaucracy. The truth of the matter is every platform has its problems, and Twitch is no exception. The more I've learned about Twitch, the less interesting it has become, despite the fact that at one point they experimented in the 2010s with becoming a more general gaming hub instead of stream till you drop. But Twitch, unfortunately, has doubled down on that since then. Uploads are now gated behind becoming a Twitch affiliate, which, you can use some tools to give yourself the 3 concurrents to get that. It's not that hard. I'm not talking buying fake viewers either. I'm talking your smartphone's data plan, copy of your stream running on your dashboard, if that still counts. Otherwise, make a friend. It's a nice thing to make friends on the internet to help you get things done. It's not that much different from making friends in the offline world. Oh, I'm getting baseball scores on my phone. Oh, yeah. Hey, thanks, Google. Good, didn't trip the speakers. Thanks for telling me that 0-0 Yankees Rays in the top of the first at the very beginning of the baseball game. What a waste of bandwidth. Hey, look, another lag spike. There we go. Now we're back to normal. What a waste of bandwidth. Then again, these things are better off listened to than watched anyways for these chat streams. Plus, I don't intend on having much for moving graphics on the screen at any given time anyways. But I'm getting out of the Twitch ecosystem. My latest Twitch Prime was to Cheongi. That expires on September 18th. That's when I become only a Vindalia subscriber, and the Tier 1 subscription was a block sub. That will expire on October 13th, at which point I'll just have a Twitch Prime, which will probably go to Vindalia, and that'll be that with that, basically. That's the Twitch ecosystem I just don't want to get involved with anymore. There's just too many drawbacks to becoming fans of Twitch streamers. If you start getting into what they do, then you start mixing in with the weirdos in their chat and stuff along those lines. Hey, Tech Yes City just put up another video. At least the notifications are working on this thing. Of course, I wonder why the battery life has dropped in the last 2 years, besides the usual deterioration of lithium-ion batteries, but I don't want to get distracted by this. The reason why I have this phone here is I have a list of topics to cover. That way I don't get too behind the times on things. But let's do one thing at a time here. Twitch, it's over. I'm just done with it. Now there's a mobbing problem on Twitch, similar to where you have these hot-headed streamers getting coddled by the platform and then turning their fans into weapons to brigade others, despite there being some robust anti-harassment policies. It's just the latest, greatest example of Twitch being inconsistent with their discipline. It's like, probably one of the things that needs to happen as these internet mobs go at each other and pretend that they're all victims all the time. We're not the problem. We're the victims. No. We're standing up for this cause. Da 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 da. One of the things that we need to address with this internet mob culture that exists these days is that the offline world is very, very familiar with the idea that 2 wrongs don't make a right. And if you get too angry and too full of rage against some whatever you oppose on the internet, at what point do you look into the eyes of your enemy and see yourself, as the old quote says? At what point do you become the very thing that you're fighting against because you just let your level-headedness go by the wayside and you just look to accuse everybody around you of everything because your confirmation bias is completely off the rails, as are you. It starts with your confirmation bias and then it expands eventually just to the rest of you. It's not a way to live. Not a way to live, always looking for the worst in everyone around you and then getting angrier and angrier when, nobody's perfect. Therefore, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. Or how about if you're incendiary as a content creator and you go trying to make people mad for a living? You go around, you go around trying to make people mad, but it's magically a problem when you succeed and people are mad at you. It's like, when does it stop? But seeing this on Twitch and seeing Twitch streamers in the news for something that should be bad everywhere, the stuff that is the reason why policies are created. It's just, this was the last straw. I'm just done. I'm done with Twitch streamers always being drama magnets in nearly all cases. I mean, I watch like maybe 2 or 3 streamers that are exceptions to this rule. Out of how many? Granted, I'm not going to watch a lot of streamers in general because streamers are very demanding of your time. And quite frankly, at some point, you want your time back. And I really don't think that the streaming, whatever it is that we want to call this bubble from the pandemic lockdowns, is, even if there wasn't a pandemic, it wouldn't be sustainable. Let's imagine you're young, attractive, 20 years old. You get into streaming. You spend your 20s streaming. You get to your 30s, you start getting wrinkles, start getting a little older, and there's a young crop of fresh talent that looks better than you because you're older than them. When you are seeing your numbers drop because you got older and less popular, and you look back on spending your 20s streaming, and then you see YouTubers with gray hair and into middle age who are still known for viral videos they did when they were younger, and they design their videos to last longer and be interesting for longer, as opposed to your Call of Duty stream for the day back in 2013 or whatever. How does that not lead to cognitive dissonance? If you don't know what I'm talking about, cognitive dissonance is the weird feeling that you get when something in your head doesn't match, something you internally believe does not match something you are externally experiencing. Things like buyer's remorse and stuff along those lines. It's just that weird feeling you get when something just isn't quite right, or it shouldn't be like this, or that's not the way it was supposed to go. It feels like something is off or something like that. I think a huge source of cognitive dissonance for especially these streamers going into their 30s is going to be realizing that they've been sold a bag of goods by Twitch, who is being opportunistic because YouTube screwed up, quite frankly. YouTube screwed up. The Adpocalypse, the Susan Wojcicki era, I mean, fundamentally, this gave Twitch the ability to go more mainstream for a couple of years, but now people are wisening up. We have the latest talent exodus of streamers in their 30s most of the time going over to YouTube, or maybe people that have spent years on Twitch, hanging it up on Twitch and leaving the platform. 30 seems to be a kind of a good cutoff date for cutoff age for some of these people. But I'm telling you right now, there's going to be streamers that become YouTubers by the time they're 35, that they will not stay in streaming because they're going to smarten up and wisen up. One of the things that you do as a content creator is you gain experience the more you do this stuff. And so you get to the point where you cringe at your old videos or your old stuff, even though it was the greatest thing in the world back when you started. I'm no exception. There's a reason why, well, I'll tell you the reason why my videos from before 2008 are not on this channel. I deleted all my videos and was ready to shut down YouTube when the Angry Video Game Nerd got suspended for a day. So it's just jumpy reaction on my part, but I still have the videos, and they pop up from time to time. One of the things that I've been wanting to do is kind of a reaction type thing where I react to my own stuff from all those years ago, and get things back, because the historical context needs to be there. And with some of these videos, they might represent a privacy risk to certain individuals, because back in the day when YouTube wasn't anything, you might be able to talk about, oh, this college professor inspired me. But now you have to think about nowadays, in the day and age where YouTube is a mainstream form of social media and a very robust search engine, whether or not references like that should even be in there in the first place. Maybe it was okay in 2006 to casually reference so-and-so, your IT professor who got you into computers. But now, I don't know. It's like you're name dropping them in today's world. It's just one of the weird ways in which social media has changed in 15 years. But this cognitive dissonance thing that I'm talking about, I think it's going to hit more and more of these live streamers. I mean, they were already fooling around with like Instagram or something, taking pictures of their various streaming journeys and stuff. But at some point, these streamers get old enough and experienced enough to second guess having been a streamer in the first place. And that's where you're going to see the mental health breaks or the breakdown streams and other stuff where these streamers are just having to come to grips with the fact that they wasted their younger years with making something, and what they have to show for years and years of streaming is a bunch of VODs. No, if they even save them. No. And let me just give you an example of the differences between YouTubing and streaming. Even though YouTube does have streaming nowadays, it's important to remember that YouTube is already established quite well with videos and how they're getting into short form and everything. But YouTubing and streaming, very, very important difference between the two. I don't know. There's a meme from the 2000s, the Numa Numa guy. And sound like some kind of yodel song of some sort. I knew about it, but I barely watched the video and didn't actually get the joke back then. I was focusing back then more on things like leet speak and stuff like that. A 1337. I bought like a ham for Christmas that was 1337. I was like, this ham is leet. Some stuff that, you know, millennials were talking about back then in the 2000s. But I heard a song on the Pop Fluff station at work once, and they sampled the Numa Numa song for something else. I was like, what is this? There's a lot of weird stuff on the radio these days that get you like thinking that the station got changed or something weird's going on. There's a song that sampled the Numa Numa meme from the 2000s. I forgot what, I don't even know what it is. I have to go look it up. There's a song, maybe I could type song that sampled the Numa Numa meme into YouTube and actually get what song it is. That 90s song where it goes doo doo ow doo 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 doo. I think it was called Everybody Everybody. You can type song where the guy says ow and it link in the YouTube search box and it takes you to that 90s song, because that's what I have something similar going on my blog. One of my most commonly the blog entry with the most hits is referencing the Enigma song from the 90s, Return to Innocence, because everybody remembers the Native American chant, oh hi, ya ya. So you spell that phonetically, and now there's metadata on the internet. People are finding the song through my blog entry. I should probably I'm not logged into the blog on my stream log on. I should go check and see later if it's still the blog that has the most hits. But playing nice with search engines gets you hits, but it doesn't get you fans. So, and that's something that I think people trying to go viral on TikTok are going to have to figure out here. But let's see. I do have a list of topics to keep myself on track here. Let's stick to one topic at a time, though. So this cognitive dissonance thing, you're going to see streamers do some pretty weird stuff when they realize that they could have done something else. But anyways, yeah, the Numa Numa guy, that meme was like 15 years ago, and now there's a song that samples the Numa Numa meme. There's also, of course, the Dua Lipa song with Elton John in it. I was like, someone put on the 80s station? That's Elton John's Sacrifice song. I don't understand, though, why Dua Lipa sings the lyrics to Rocket Man. I mean, yeah, if she's a big fan of Elton John and whatnot, but it's just... So it's a weird remix. It's one of those things where you wonder if it's just farming for clout or something by putting in something that was popular a generation ago into a song nowadays. But none of these weird things on the radio, though, compare to Kate Bush. That Running Up That Hill song that has been repopularized, it's from the 80s, but it was repopularized by Stranger Things on Netflix. The fun part is, though, when you're listening to all these Zoomer songs and all these like Pop Fluff stuff on the Pop Fluff station, and suddenly Kate Bush starts playing, and you're like, did someone change the station? This is an 80s song. Oh yeah, thanks Netflix. But now that's a source of cognitive dissonance right there. This is supposed to be the Pop Fluff station, but I hear an 80s song. What happened? You start trying to figure it out, or until you're like, yeah, the Netflix Stranger Things thing again. Hey, it's not like that never happened before. It's so easy to forget. Another meme from the 2000s. You should know what I'm talking about if you're familiar with the naughties, as it's sometimes called nowadays. Yeah, Rick rolling. Rick Astley, the Never Gonna Give You Up song. That's an 80s song. Became a meme because people were tricking people into clicking on stuff that played the music video to that song in the 2000s. That's what getting Rick rolled is all about. Maybe Rick Astley and Kate Bush should do some kind of collab song together, since they've both become something that pop culture has brought back decades after what they thought the peak of their popularity would be. It's like, well, I mean, what's next? Are we going to see like encyclopedias become popular again? Remember that commercial for the kid tapping the tablet and stuff, buying encyclopedias? Like, we're back. And like paper book encyclopedias and stuff like that, it's all dead, and suddenly they're making a bazillion orders for a kid that's sitting there slapping a tablet and buying something over and over again. I don't know. One of the things about the internet that you always got to be careful of is you can't joke about. You got to be careful what you joke about, because it's a joke to you. Someone out there might actually try to do it, or someone out there might actually take it seriously. It's weird how people are. And the internet is a wonderful amalgamation of all the weirdness that is out there. All right, let's talk about this cognitive dissonance thing, because this applies very much. I don't want to show it on. Do I really want to go to all the trouble to link up browser mode for this? Let's see. Twitter.com Ninja. Actually, we don't even need that. Yeah, user not found. Ninja has that timeout thing on the screen. He said on September 1st, I just need a break. I don't know when I will be back or where. He actually went out and did his... he actually went out and... I think he had an exclusivity deal with Twitch that he signed with 2 years ago. And so if it was a 2-year contract and it was up, they even, if you go to twitch.tv/ninja, there's no twitch.tv/ninja. There is no subscribe button anymore. So this guy completely exited the ecosystem. Yeah. Unfollow, turn notifications off. Check out this Fortnite stream from yesterday. Yeah, well, he blanked everything. Like, this guy just completely walked away from the internet. It's like, people are like, oh, it's a publicity move. Well, you know, sometimes people do hang it up with this stuff. Let me just, why don't we just quit being lazy and let's set up browser mode here. So, browser mode, we link it up here, go to web browser, and let's put it on Chrome here. Still on Sega Master Tim's thing from last night. Here's Ninja. Here's Ninja right now. This is Ninja's page on Twitch. Why does this always do this? Stupid auto snap doesn't let me use the videos, the window sizes I want. It always makes dumb assumptions about what's going on here. So this is here's Ninja, and here's Ninja on Twitter. Here's Ninja on Twitch. Just need a break. Well, I went back or where. Why do you have Mr. Beast blocked? Because of an incident involving Mizkif. An incident involving Mizkif, plus he seems a little too arrogant for me to really associate with the guy. I can't believe it. I can't believe that someone that successful could be so full of themselves and still get viewers. That's how you know there's a lot of psychology going on behind the scenes. But yeah, well, if we get the whole Mr. Beast is blocked. Yeah, I have Mr. Beast blocked. I've never played nicely with content creators that get too big for their britches, as we used to say back when I was little. That's something that my dad, even my mom, one of the few things I remember her saying before she passed away was never get too big for your britches. In other words, don't get stuck up and full of yourself. Let's see. Ninja on Twitch. Let me load up Ninja's YouTube channel on here, although I'm not signed in on YouTube. YouTube, Ninja YouTube. Come on, Chrome. I know it's my streamer log on, but Ninja quits streaming. Asmongold TV already making a picture about that. Already making a video about that. Oh, get over it, Asmongold. Yeah, Ninja. Let's see here. Yeah, about Tyler Ninja Blevins is an accomplished battle royale streamer. He's currently playing Fortnite. He hasn't even updated his description. He hasn't even updated his... Why does he have a video called Cheating in Fortnite? YouTube rolled out a policy about enabling dishonest behavior. Or is he making fun of cheating in Fortnite? I don't know. The thing with Ninja, though, is he made bank on the Mixer thing when with the contract issues with Mixer when Mixer shut down. He can do whatever the heck he wants at this point. He's in a very enviable position as a streamer. But I mean, if somebody who was very active in their 20s gets to their 30s or whatnot, and they decide to hang it up and like have a family or something like that, then don't hold it against them. It's just people being people. It's something that people seem to have forgotten with some of the stuff that's going on here. Yeah, timeout. He's got all these graphics everywhere. We have a motorcycle. It's Labor Day weekend here in this hick town. No, that's actually not a motorcycle. That's a car with a tricked out exhaust. But either way, look. This is the ugly truth of the matter. It's what I'm talking about here. Eventually, the cognitive dissonance is going to get to these folks, and they're going to be like, "What am I doing here?" It's just you're going to see that. I mean, you saw it with Pokimane as well. Suddenly, Pokimane's like, "Nope, I'm taking a break as well." And then now she's got this video about how she's going to do a wider range of stuff. And I'm like, first step towards becoming a YouTuber. She'll be a full-blown YouTuber probably by the time she's 35. But that's what we're going to see from these people. is they get to the point, eventually they get to a place where they're like, what exactly am I doing here? I wouldn't call it a midlife crisis, but I would definitely call it a stream life crisis, where they get to a point and I'd be like, what exactly have I been doing? Although in the case of Ninja, he was a YouTuber before he became a popular Twitch streamer. His YouTube channel goes back to, what was his oldest video? Let me sort by oldest here. The oldest video he has, his first video of many, looks really young in the picture. Was this Halo he was playing at the time? Formal versus Ninja Game Force Sanctuary. Oh my god, Waldo, I love. What? 1v1 Zealot. Halo Reaches Collector's Edition. Oh yeah, it looks like Halo and stuff. I mean, the guy's been playing video games for a long time. And he totally looks like he's aged 10 years from all this. There's some really bad pictures of him that make him look like, like someone's mom or something. But at some point, though, sometimes content creators do that. They decide to hang it up and they just, they leave the door open in case they ever want to come back. But we talked about this before with the whole Hannah Minx thing. Hannah Minx was somebody who was regularly YouTubing, and in many ways, she's an ancestor of a lot of types of good-looking content creators that we've seen since then. What happened to her? She decided to be a grown-up and live a life, wound up, getting married, having kids, and then eventually had a Twitter, eventually had a non-internet stuff related Twitter, which is for personal stuff and things like that. People eventually dug that up, but obviously any references to what she did on the internet either get you blocked or it's just deadpanned and stuff. People can decide to move on from this stuff. There are some YouTubers that I was watching tech videos and vlogs and stuff in the 2000s that don't do anything anymore. They've moved on to other stuff. They consider that chapter of their life over. And when people decide to do this, you need to respect that. So these people that are going around saying Ninja's just doing a publicity stunt, why don't you just let Ninja be Ninja? It's not like there aren't other people to watch. It's like, you think about maybe you watched him in like 2017 or something when Fortnite was getting big. 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. That was 5 years ago. Now, longer than some of you youngsters only have high school to relate to. Longer than you were in high school. Let these content creators be people, because at the end of the day, they still are. And I think that's something the internet really needs to learn, is that despite all the computers, despite all the social media, despite all the algorithms and everything, we're still people under this stuff. We're still people. So if Ninja decides to step down from everything and move on with his life, we need to respect that. Now, and if Pokimane despite making fun of YouTube a couple of months ago, if she suddenly decides to join the talent exodus from Twitch to YouTube, where partnership has less hours and stuff, and YouTube's own people have admitted that when they sign these people, they don't put them under as much stress for streaming hours because they encourage a wider variety of content. YouTube wants people to be personalities more than streamers. You really think about it, the streaming world is changing because it's been around. Look, we saw this with videos. We saw this with how YouTube was the place for videos for years. YouTube was the place for videos for years until the technology got commoditized and everybody could do videos. So now what? YouTube's been trying to answer that, of course, with things like movie rentals, YouTube TV, all kinds of other things to try and make more money off of the traditionally terrible money situation of this platform. That, all the other stuff that YouTube has been trying to do over the years. So streaming, when you have rights holders starting their own content delivery networks or CDNs, streaming has been commoditized too. It's not enough just to be a streamer these days. When streaming was newer and the world didn't know what to do with it, then streaming was something a little more special. But in today's world, not so much. I think these streamers are figuring this out. You're going to see more Twitch streamers become YouTubers in some way. They might try to keep streaming on YouTube, but if you watch the numbers on these people coming over, they retain more of their audience than YouTubers getting into live streaming, like what's going on with me right now. And, my small YouTuber no-view streams and whatnot that people always watch after the fact happens with other people as well. I know I'm not alone. YouTube fundamentally has a problem as a streaming platform, and I think a lot of it has to do with the UI. But that's before you start talking about streams versus the ability to make other stuff. That thing I keep talking about, that everything's moving in a more omni-media direction. But there's an exodus of talent. A lot of times I've been watching the numbers on a lot of these people and comparing it to their Sully gnomes. Other than Valkyrie, who just happened to switch over to YouTube right in time for the surge in viewership due to the lockdown, so she's not an apples-to-apples comparison. A lot of the people that have changed platforms from Twitch to YouTube were basically getting paid to essentially stay the same or shrink as a streamer. So at some point, people are going to figure it out that, yeah, they're streamers. They have an audience that prefers them live, but YouTubers don't have that privilege. That's why you'll see YouTubers with millions of subscribers that can't hit 500 concurrents on stream. It's not just small channels like myself that struggle with this. There's some really big YouTubers that fundamentally get stung hard by YouTube's design right now. Even simple stuff, like it taking too many clicks to flip from stream to stream. Oh yeah, I mean, over on the left side, I can have and especially if I expand it, I can have a list of people to watch with little red radar things telling me they're live. But to literally see what everybody is streaming, I have to click their name, then I have to click the stream on their YouTube page. So I'm clicking twice. You know, Twitch had enough of a problem when pre-roll ads meant that you couldn't channel flip on Twitch. Twitch had enough of a problem with that. Never mind on YouTube where everything takes more clicks. Fundamentally, YouTube is just not as friendly to streaming as dedicated streaming platforms are. It's better in the long run because you have more tools at your disposal and one audience can see more of your different types of stuff. But in terms of streaming and trying to act like a Twitch streamer on YouTube, it's not a good idea. YouTube just isn't set up for that. They're trying, but I think there's more effort going into developing YouTube Shorts than developing YouTube as a streaming platform, as we can see from this utterly glacial pace that really simple ideas that would catch YouTube up to Twitch features-wise are being implemented. Like live redirect as a form of raid feature that is way more restricted than its Twitch equivalent. If things are too restricted, people aren't going to do that. I'm waiting for an example of one of these YouTube streamers live redirecting as a raid, so to speak. Just if the features are too clunky to use, people don't use them. Even live redirecting to a premiere requires you to establish a premiere and spoil what the new thing is. I would love to have a new video that I can redirect people over without having to spoil what it is by scheduling a premiere for it. It's like, or do I have to flag it private? These details, yeah, I could do that, but these details aren't going to matter to a lot of people. They just want a way to easily do that. But we'll talk about YouTube stuff later. For the rest of this little discussion here, I'm just going to say this. Cognitive dissonance is an absolute monster. It is an absolute monster, and it is going to crush these streamers. As they wake up to what they could have been doing with the years of their lives when they were younger and prettier, it's going to be a disaster. Now, you get older and you get wiser. Part of getting older and wiser is figuring out how bad the mistakes you made when you were younger actually were. And we're about to see the Twitch streamer version of that. Then there's stream grinding in general. There's the ones that try to tough it out. There's the folks who don't want to acknowledge that they're not 24 anymore. They no longer have an esports career, and maybe they're starting to get some years on them. So it might not be a good idea for them to play video games 16 hours a day and never get any exercise. When are we going to see the health problems? This is all too new for us to really see what long-term stream grinding XQC style does to you after years and years and years. But it's going to get ugly. It's going to get ugly at some point. The question is when and how. And I'm telling you right now, it's going to suck. But don't be mad at people like myself who saw it coming. So that's why I'm here saying right now, this cognitive dissonance thing with Twitch streamers, expect there to be more stories like Ninja and Pokimane. Expect there to be people vanishing or people saying, yeah, I'm not going to stream as much. I'm going to do other stuff. And then hope their audience follows them. Because the last thing we need to talk about is the underlying importance of keeping it professional. I talked earlier about, yeah, we're at what, 46 minutes of live time now? I talked earlier about getting out of the Twitch ecosystem because I've just had enough of the drama. I've had enough of the emotional crap. I've had enough of the spillover of the drama to Twitter. Twitch is just not going to be the place where I go anymore. One of the things holding me back, though, is finding people to watch on YouTube. I have people to watch on YouTube, and I have organizations to watch on YouTube. And this is probably one of the things that's going to weigh very heavily on these Twitch streamers as they come to grips with what's going on with this platform. No matter how good it looks, no matter how many kappas people throw around at TwitchCon San Diego next month, no matter what goes on with all of this, we have to deal with the hard reality here. YouTube and Facebook are in way better shape as platforms than Twitch will ever be. You can find people on YouTube that are far more professional, far more grown up, that don't melt into drama at every little thing. And these Twitch streamers that are coming over to YouTube, they need to grow up too. If you ever compare the monthly active users between Twitch and YouTube, YouTube is 17 to 18 times larger. It is more than big enough to get lost in a crowd. It is more than big enough for your audience to find other people to watch if you're a whiny little crybaby who won't grow up and keep it professional. I'm slowly but surely, I mean, I keep an eye on the Twitch streamers that came over just for numbers' sake. I'm not big fans of them. Drama or no drama, no matter how successful they were on Twitch, they just kind of blend together. How many more streamers is YouTube going to sign, and they're going to come over to how many more Twitch streamers is YouTube going to sign, bring them over, and they all start looking like each other? Like, look, a Twitch streamer on YouTube. Oh, look, the umpteenth person playing Escape from Tarkov. They start blending in with each other. I'm forgetting who's who. I'm forgetting who's Dr. Lupo, who's Myth. I mean, Dr. Disrespect has an iconic enough character to what he does that I probably will always recognize the doc. But I'm like, let me find someone. Who was that person that just came over? Was it Saikuno? Or was it Myth? Or was it Swag? Or was it, it's like, sometimes, well, that's part of what's going on with this, too, is that these people coming over with esports backgrounds, these people with the esports backgrounds, people have to be fans of them from their esports presence and whatnot. There is an element of brand building that the talking heads talk about, but I think it's more a matter of personality and reputation. Preserve the human side of it. Don't get all corporate like the businesses do. But I've watched these Twitch streamers come over, and they need to grow up because you know what? There are YouTubers with smaller, cozier chats that are doing streams. And these are people who are going to be actual grown-ups. So less prone to drama, less prone to having stupid little meltdowns where they cry about how they're not going to stream for a month after you bought a monthly membership. That's one of my pet peeves, by the way. Twitch. Buy a block sub. Support your subscribers for 3 to 6 months. Streamer has a meltdown and vanishes off the platform, and Twitch is very, very stingy with their refund policy. Yeah, sucks. Like, easy way to get ripped off. Having some content creator you support turn around and make zero content, and you can't do anything about it because they took a little mental health break because someone was being mean to them on the internet. Imagine that. But over here, though, look, the reason why I like Vindalia as much as I do is because she is an actual grown-up. She's a single mom trying to raise a kid, fighting some medical things and stuff. And she's an actual grown-up who actually has some thicker skin and doesn't have little meltdowns every little thing. Matter of fact, she even has a smart-ass sense of humor. Too bad she's on Twitch. But that's the big reason why she'll probably just, be the Twitch Prime recipient and whatnot after I conclude my involvement on the platform. Other than a few special events here and there. But she is very similar to the people I would actually watch on YouTube these days. Here's some great examples. you have B Bishop PCM, a channel that very similar to what I do, but with slightly different source material. And he doesn't really edit his videos anymore. There was one time when B Bishop PCM's world was very similar to the wacky world of MultimediaJay, but he went in a different direction. But he tinkers with old computers from time to time, and maybe a scooter here and there. Keep your drinks cold and ready. It's also dry out, so I'm probably going to need them more. But, you know, B Bishop PCM, I've seen him do some live streams, but he doesn't really put any emphasis on them. If I miss the stream, I can't really watch after the fact to see what he did. So, and he uses the generic first stream ever on YouTube thing, B Bishop PCM live stream. When you stream on YouTube for the first time, it's literally your username live stream is the default title. So, you know, my first one was MultimediaJay live stream. I very quickly changed the title to an actual title. But just for fun, one of these days, I might actually just call it MultimediaJay live stream. Just for fun. Oh, look, another lag spike. Yeah, we got to call the ISP after all this. But, yeah, so MultimediaJay live stream. So, you know, he's chill about things. There's the Game Chasers with retro streams on Saturday nights. The same Game Chasers did all the videos about game hunting and stuff. That's how I found out about their channel. And now they stream. So like, oh, it's cool, you know, and whatnot. But it's a chill stream, very similar to what Vindalia does, straight right here on YouTube. Then I saw that the Retro RGB does streams fiddling with tube monitors and stuff, kind of like a tech video in the form of a stream. Yeah, that was cool. That was pretty cool, pretty chill, and learned a few things about tube monitors as I saw them fiddle around with some RCA and some GE TVs from the 90s, and the GE TV that they fiddled around with this afternoon. It's in the community post if the replay wasn't pulled or deleted. The GE was actually the GE version of the RCA TV my folks had when I was growing up. Probably the same TV with different names stamped on them. ODMs are a thing in electronics. The design is sold, and then the brands put their branding on it and sell it instead of trying to come up with something of their own. Especially with something like televisions that have been, by the time the 90s came around, they'd been around for decades. So even solid state TVs had been around for decades by then. So all these companies needed to do was just have something to sell. The Sony Trinitron was cool, but a lot of what made the Trinitron cool was patents. So, but that's the thing. I mean, the bottom line is, if I have anything to do with streamers at all, it's a big if in this day and age where I want to reclaim my free time and not zonk out in front of someone's stream or be persistently distracted by someone's stream going on screen number 2. Very rarely do I watch streams on screen number 1 unless it's really, really engaging, and that rarely happens. I think I'm past that point. Even, you know, giving Twitch streamers free watch hours because I fall asleep to their streams, like Rayi. At one point, she was a chill streamer, streamed usually when I was going to sleep. So I'd often fall asleep with her playing Dota or something. But there's like 10-hour videos of relaxing rivers and stuff on YouTube that I can get the same thing from. So there's like 10-hour videos of like relaxing rivers and streams that I could play instead. So you see what I mean? Streaming kind of is a phase that people go through, and I'm sure there's others out there that are in the same boat. I see people talking about it on Reddit. I see people talking about it on social media. They're talking about how their streams, the streamers they watch, were kind of a thing they did when they were stuck home in 2020. But now that things are the way they are here in 2022, they just don't have the time anymore. They've moved on to other things. And that's why I keep saying, one of many reasons why I keep saying, that the streaming bubble is going to burst and we're watching it before our very eyes. Because at some point, the hard reality of Twitch comes home to roost. Let's see here, we're at 55 minutes live time. So I'll get up and stretch with a jazz intermission. I am only through the first topic on here. This might be one heck of a chat stream. We got to talk about Dailymotion. We got to talk about what happened with Facebook gaming and why people think Facebook is dying for weird reasons. And then we can talk about the YouTube algorithm, kind of the ultimate last topic of them all. But yeah, as things progress with these streamers, you're going to see some weird stuff from them. You're going to see more situations like what happened with Pokimane and what happened with Ninja. Nothing lasts forever, folks. These are people we're talking about, and they have lives to live, and I think we should be respectable enough to let them choose how to live those lives. We'll be right back. The clock is about to strike 8 o'clock here at Jay's Geek House. Welcome back to the Late Night Nerd Lounge. Although late is kind of in quotes here, but it's late night. Somewhere before the break, we were talking about the whole situation with what's been going on, as well as some Twitch streamer stuff and cognitive dissonance being what's going to cause all kinds of problems in the stream world in the next couple of years. Something I forgot to mention, though, was that besides finding more professional grown-ups to watch on YouTube, who are streaming on YouTube, there's also orgs, there's also mainstream media, and there's also zero drama. There's a moderator, but that's about it. No trying to mess with people or take their money or anything. Just orgs being themselves and just displaying what it is that they have going on. Like, I was watching a baseball game on YouTube the other day. It wasn't even anything all that big. Royals versus, was it White Sox versus Royals or something? Something really basic. But it was that weekly baseball game that MLB streams on YouTube in the afternoon and stuff. And I was like, look, some baseball fans in the chat, and this thing has 45,000 concurrents. Some of what goes on with Twitch and Twitch streamers is the old Twitch Bowl effect, where they try and fishbowl Twitch streamers into acting like Twitch rules the universe. And the way things are done on Twitch is the way things are done everywhere, and that is absolutely not the case. And it's also worth noting that when it comes to Twitch stuff, you need to put Twitch into its proper place, perspective-wise. I realize Twitch is incredible at marketing and making themselves look bigger than they actually are. But that 140 million monthly active users is actually smaller than some platforms that you might actually think about as small platforms. Case in point, Dailymotion. What the? Hey, that was fireworks. There's some people with some fireworks left over from the 4th of July. They're shooting them off. You can tell it's a hick town on Labor Day weekend. Ag fairs are in full swing, and the weather is absolutely beautiful. So it's going to be fun. Oh, what's this? This is a prolonged lag spike. It's staying red for a long time. Let me see if there's... Let me keep an eye on the preview. It is literally all red for like 30 seconds. $3,000. 38. 55. Is the thing stuck? Why is it... Here it goes. Now it's lightening back up. No, now it's darkening back up. This is the worst service I've ever had. It reminds me of DSL. Let me keep an eye on the preview. It is literally all red for like 30 seconds. $3,000. 38. 55. Is the thing stuck? Why is it... Here it goes. Now it's lightening back up. No, now it's darkening back up. This is the worst service I've ever had. It is definitely time for an internet line test, as well as dropping to the cheapest package until these people get their stuff together. This is the most unreliable I've seen their service as of yet. So, well, that's why we're only doing chat streams. Can you imagine if I was doing a high FPS gaming stream with this crap going on, and I go from like $9,000 down to $3,000 instead of $6,000 down to $3,000 when 30 FPS theoretically only needs 4,500 on YouTube? It just would be a total disaster. It's like stupid things that hold people back from streaming in the United States of America, of all countries. Rich country, all this money flying around, can't get broadband right. Well, Stop the Cap's been covering that for years. It's important, since we're talking about Twitch, it's important to keep Twitch in the proper perspective. And part of that proper perspective is realizing that Twitch is an incredibly small platform. They're not a major player in the world of social media. We've shown the Statista numbers over and over again. YouTube and Facebook have billions of monthly active users to Twitch's millions. 140 mil. While Dailymotion, the old I'm mad at YouTube, so I'm going somewhere else platform from years of yore, is openly advertising 350 million monthly active users worldwide. That's about right with the numbers I saw back when I decided to make Dailymotion into a secondary platform for my videos back when I did. That's about on par with what things were. About a tenth of the size at the time. You could basically have a video that gets like 100 views on YouTube. If it got 10 views on Dailymotion, it was doing about as well. It was doing about as well if it got that amount of views on there. But we've looked at Twitch's advertising deck, the things that Twitch uses to sell their services to people. We've looked at the Twitch advertising deck and the things that Twitch has done to sell their services to people as a way of talking about some stuff going on and things along those lines. Well, guess what? Dailymotion has one too. Those speakers trip for the dumbest of reasons. Yeah, well, guess what? Dailymotion has one of those too. Put this back off to the side and let's take a look at the advertising deck that Dailymotion uses to sell their services to potential advertisers. Dailymotion! Great ads deserve great content. Reach your desired audiences with massive scale in a brand-safe environment through engaging video inventory. Remember, the Dailymotion that we know of today, the Dailymotion that exists today is owned by Vivendi, and its tagline is the home for videos that matter. When they were last bought out, Dailymotion walled off the user-generated content now called UGC, and they decided to go completely through commercial partners. Dailymotion is a warning to the content creation world of what's going to happen if YouTube goes 100% commercial. Here's some partners: UMG, Billboard, Marie Claire, Kinney TV, never heard of them, Canal Plus, never heard of them, People I've heard of. But you have all these brands that are on essentially a commercial video platform, which is what Dailymotion has become. They're trying to pitch themselves as like, oh, you watch CNN or you watch this, that, or the other from commercial partners, watch them on here and sift through all the fluff from all those whatever. So YouTube competitors, well, we're not going to need this anytime soon. We're just going to scroll aimlessly. So let's not do that. YouTube competitors have usually had some reason why YouTube competitors are YouTube competitors. There's been some weird thing that usually kept them from growing. So in the case of Vimeo, it's because they were selling bandwidth. They were running, instead of running like a radio or TV station with ads and other revenue supporting their ability to host content, they were running like internet storage. So you would basically rent storage like you were renting server space. And that's what their business model was closer to. And it was possible for your channel on there to get deliberately shut off in the algorithm and get 0 views unless you paid extra if you use too much bandwidth. That's obviously not something that's been a thing on YouTube, at least not explicitly. Maybe there's something going on behind the scenes and YouTube's calling it, we're auditing your view count to make sure it's accurate or something. But it wasn't uncommon once upon a time for Vimeo users to get surprise bills for bandwidth if they had a video go viral. And of course, Vimeo is what it is and YouTube is what it is, so the differences in the business models speak for themselves. A lot of times when you look at the best versus the rest in an industry, there is one killer thing that the best company figures out and the rest kind of just try to compete with it. Sometimes because there's patents involved, like Sony Trinitron versus other tube TVs back during the CRT era and stuff along those lines. Dailymotion has sought out concentrated coolness. Now, the interesting thing is I watched this channel shrink once it went all commercial. And it was I still have my channel with videos, but I don't think those videos get any views. I could upload one of my Wacky World of MultimediaJay videos and see if it ever gets views and then don't talk about it. Maybe it'll get like a few from the people that follow me on there. I have like 20 or 30 followers on Dailymotion. But Dailymotion, not only do they not lend themselves to the kind of open UGC type thing that YouTube has, they have doubled down on that. And that's part of how they advertise themselves to potential advertisers. Remember, the tagline is the site for videos that matter. In other words, we are going to be talking... In other words, the platform for videos that matter. In other words, we are going to be talking about some elitism here. Let's take a look. Great ads that serve great content. Reach your desired audiences with massive scale in a brand-safe environment through engaging video inventory. Immerse your brand in content from top publishers. We boast over 2,000 premium content partners. Global audience. Here's where the MAUs come from. With 350 million monthly viewers generating 2 billion views per month, we deliver vast international reach. 350 mil, 2,000 publishers, 2 bill views per month. Brand safety. Protecting users, brands, and content owner is our main priority. and engaging campaigns drive audience attention and recall with our audience attention and recall with our innovative ad formats and branded content opportunities. Your brand, your call. Invest in Dailymotion to unlock your brand potential. Let's go to the numbers first, the global audience. This is interesting because the 350 mil is global, but Dailymotion is based out of the EU. So we look at this breakdown here, attracting a global and premium audience for over a decade. With a young, time-conscious, and affluent viewer base is growing rapidly, Dailymotion's audience is as premium as its content. They have insights as well. If you click more insights, I think it signs you up to contact a member of their team for more detailed numbers and analytics. But if these are, I guess these have to be geographic references. NORAM for North America, EME for Europe and the Middle East, LATA for Latin America, and APA, Asia, Pacific, Australia, etc. So here's where the 350 million MAUs break down. 40 million, only 40 million in North America. So if you're very, very American, catering to US or Canada for your audience potential, your MAUs that may someday find your videos is only 40 million on Dailymotion. A little bit more in Europe, but there's also the Middle East mixed in here as well. And probably Central Asia and whatnot. 177 million in Dailymotion's backyard. 40 million Latin America, and 93 million Asia Pacific. 331 in-stream video inventory. They even break down the demographics as to men versus women and mobile and tablet versus desktop. It's interesting because all of these have dominance with mobile and tablet versus desktop because Dailymotion has an app and stuff like that. So it's definitely something. But what I find interesting is if Dailymotion has 350 million MAUs, why are they not listed on that Cynicism report or the Wikipedia one we mentioned earlier? And this is the thing. I've been watching what's happened to Dailymotion for the past couple of years. And we've seen with Dailymotion where they've removed more and more features to get it down to just videos. Most recently, they removed view counters. But before they did that, I noticed that there's stuff on the front page. Let me just go to dailymotion.com. But mute the site so that doesn't make a bunch. Oh, it is muted already. So their front page videos, this is all commercial stuff, so I'm not going to show any of it. Their front page videos were getting like 5,000 views. So I'm over here. I'm not even logged in because this is my streaming log on and it has completely separate everything and stuff. But I've got Cheddar News, one-on-one influencer Camry McKnight. Should you buy a home from Stringer, Bustle? Oh, there's Salon, the magazine and whatnot. So MSM here. There's Wired, Young Hollywood, Fuse, Genius, Delish, the food folks and stuff like that. Cheddar News, Now This. These are all orgs. These are all organizations I've heard of before. And then in the sports section, you have NASCAR, CLNS, Media. That's what, soccer or something? Major League Baseball on Sports Grid and whatnot. So it's entertainment in the spotlight. We have Bustle, People, Magazine. Well, I guess it's not a magazine anymore. Hollywood Life, Cosmopolitan, What's Trending, Thrillist, Fuse, Hip Hop Vibe. And there's also some musicians like Queen and Luis Fonsi and stuff being featured on the front page. But it's all commercial stuff. It's all commercial stuff. And what happens if I search for a video like how to build? No. Let's do something a little bit. Oh, okay. Gold Thread, is that a commercial partner? Ted Gaming, Ted Mike, Made Man. All right. Let me look at like an unboxing video. What kind of results do I get if I look for unboxing videos on Dailymotion? Oops. Search. Oh, here. Unboxing. Click. Oh, it isn't even working. Unboxing. And hit the exclamation, hit the magnifying glass. Oh, you have to wait for it to process everything. Okay. So the results I'm getting are from Computer Hoy, Gizbot, Preview, Hobby Consolas, Suara.com, Computer Hoy. What are these channels, though? What kinds are these? These are probably commercial partners, right? Who is this Gizbot, for example? Technology made easy, Gizbot.com. Gizbot helps you make the most of the high-tech lifestyle by providing unique product reviews, digital lifestyle culture, and technology news about trend-setting consumer products and services. So, yeah, Gizbot, that's a brand. 3 million views, 1,700 followers for 2,700 videos, with 3 million views between all of them. Vio, oh, it's in Hindi too, so it's a company from India from the looks of it. Let's see here. And there's some different characters in there as well for some of the other alphabets over there. Asus ZenBook Pro Duo 14 OLED laptop review and stuff like that. Yeah, so I mean, if I look, for example, let me look for like music, or yeah, let me look for music or musical youth influence music, Alacrane's music. So I got music orgs here. Stuff by Dua Lipa. Does she have a presence on here? Butterfly. Oh, okay. Hamlin by Dua Lipa. I don't know what that is. Hollywood Life is in the results period. Charts in style. Dua Lipa's butterfly bikini is peak Y2K nostalgia. Another one from In Style. Latest look just took plunging necklines to the extreme. So it's basically like fashion and celebrity gossip. What is In Style? InStyle.com, the fashion, beauty, and celebrity buzz you need to know. And on their page, it's all commercial stuff. This is all brands. Kim Kardashian responded to backlash over her Skims maternity collection. Meghan Markle's first public engagement since Archie something. Climate strikes around the world. J-Lo and Ben Affleck. Kids walk down the aisle at something because the title's cut off. Yeah. Then you have links to People, Travel and Leisure, Entertainment Weekly, and All Recipes. So it is 100% commercial. And that's part of what they're selling these days, is that you're going to sift through the fluff, so to speak. Let me go to another section of their advertising thing. See where they brag about what they are. A daily feed of engaging global content. Get the latest and keep track. Put this back on screen. We're back to the advertising deck here. Get the latest and keep track of what's trending no matter what you are. Our staff picks are your go-to source of news, sports, entertainment, and music. Localized video catalog, 35 localized versions available. We partner with major brands, media orgs, and top-tier producers to deliver premium content. Our superior cutting-edge player technology delivers content across all devices in one flawless streaming experience, and our network of 35,000 domains connects your campaign to our desired audience. Go back to some of the other stuff. It's bouncing over to content, but I want to take a look at some other things here. What's this? Brand safety. This is the big one. YouTube does this too, by the way, with the advertiser-friendly guidelines. But Dailymotion is fully a commercial platform here. Here's their take on it. At Dailymotion, protecting users, brands, and content owners is our main priority. We focus on surfacing content on the subjects that our users care about most. We have created a trusted premium video experience for our viewers, highlighting the topics that matter to our users while ensuring the quality of our partners. This is a big one right here. Our internal automated filters analyze video content and metadata and detect spam and explicit content based on blacklisted keywords and image attributes. Copyrighted material. Uploaded videos are compared to the INA signature and Audible Magic. That's the same stuff Twitch uses, by the way, for muting VODs. Fingerprint database. If copyright infringement is detected, we reject the video. No ads. Oh, here's where the UGCs, aka us, this is where we're mentioned here, and it's not a good thing. No ads on user-generated content. All partners' applications must be approved by our content policy team, and user-generated content is never monetized. That's a huge difference versus YouTube. UGC, or user-generated content, is what Dailymotion uses to refer to videos by individuals instead of brands. People like myself and you and what people do with this type of stuff. Our support team works 24/7 to address the reports that users submit. Then they talk about the tech that they use, and they show some more partners and some more folks they team up with. But this is the biggie right here. No ads in user-generated content. User-generated content is never monetized. Matter of fact, it's walled off. Some people have used Dailymotion over the years for like embeds on blog entries and stuff, but you do not have an algorithm. I might very well try uploading a recent Wacky World of Multimedia-Jay, or a video that did pretty popularly, and then see if it goes anywhere. Because my Dailymotion channel, I don't even know what I want to do with it anymore. More so than Twitch. More so than my issues with Twitch. Dailymotion is a platform that I just cannot find anything to do with anymore, because they don't want individuals like myself. I have to get to the point where I'm essentially a commercial brand, and that's not something I'm interested in doing as a hobbyist. And some of this might also be because they're smaller and they don't want to handle the operating expenses of something the size of YouTube with billions of MAUs per month. But my question is, though, with 350 million, that makes Dailymotion bigger than Twitch worldwide. Probably not in North America. But if Dailymotion is bigger than Twitch, why do I not see Dailymotion in the Statista numbers? Because with 350 million MAUs worldwide, that makes him bigger than platforms like Quora at 300 million MAUs, which were at the bottom of the Statista list. This is an internal number. Maybe that's not the case. Maybe that traffic isn't really there. Who knows? But it's what Dailymotion is using to sell to advertisers. And what am I saying all this for anyways? What I'm saying all of this for is quite simple. You got to keep things in context here. You got to keep things in context when it comes to what platforms you use and what you associate with. Twitch is incredibly good at marketing and making themselves look bigger than they actually are. So, Twitch is incredibly good at it. Now, people act like Twitch is a major platform. It is not. Not in the slightest. Dailymotion. If these numbers are accurate, Dailymotion is bigger than Twitch. Dailymotion, a platform where if I talk to people about it, oh yeah, I remember Dailymotion. Excuse me. A platform where, oh yeah, I remember Dailymotion. Gotten that in my own chat even. Yeah, Dailymotion at one point was the biggest YouTube alternative for making videos, outside, of course, the Chinese firewall-protected platforms operating in China behind the Great Firewall of China, where YouTube is banned. But, you know, it's... So, aside from those, of course, Dailymotion... Because here's what happened, and this is the reason why I even care about Dailymotion. Once upon a time, when livevideo.com was the platform that I was using for alternative, you know, YouTube uploads, alternatives to YouTube. And at one point, live video was actually ahead of YouTube in terms of features. Well, YouTube caught up and some other things happened, and live video was rendered useless to do anything with. And they couldn't afford their hosting costs, and the business eventually went broke and went bankrupt and shut down. But when livevideo.com shut down, I became very wary of literally any video platform that tried to be a YouTube competitor. I went looking on Wikipedia for the largest platforms in order to just go with like the number 2 platform that would be competing with YouTube the most. That's where I found Dailymotion was the one that did that. There have been others since then, and I've seen some angry YouTubers who hate the direction YouTube has gone in. They went to one of those like VidMe, and at one point Blip TV was part of this too. And we've watched all of these would-be YouTube competitors go under. There's another one, not Photo Bucket. That was a photo site. BitChute. That was another one that was supposed to take down YouTube. At one point, there was even a thing where you would run a script and BitChute would bring over all of your YouTube videos to your BitChute channel, but I've never really seen that work. I gave it like years before I finally gave up on it. But there are YouTubers out there, and there are YouTube competitor platforms out there, but you want the one that is the steadiest player, and I think that's still Dailymotion, despite the fact that it's not about UGC anymore. I am going to do an experiment. I'll take a video that was popular on here and upload it to Dailymotion, see if it even goes anywhere, just like the time I did that experiment with Twitch. Yep, just like the time I did that little experiment with Twitch. At one point, I was just uploading like old videos there to kind of have it as an archive of sorts, but I don't know at this point. I don't know at this point. But it's just a reminder to keep things in perspective. So Dailymotion, for all of its limits, all of the features that have been removed, there's like the like button, and that's about it. There's no views, no comments, no anything. And people complain about dislikes being hidden, you know, the dislike counts being hidden on YouTube. How about a platform that has removed comments, removed dislikes, and removed views even, so you can't see how many views a video gets anymore? I don't even think you can do that from the creator side either. It's just views are no longer a thing. Your videos are just there. That's why I question the 350 million MAUs. But assuming they're legit, that would mean that Twitch for all of its bombast and all its look at us, we're Twitch culture, Monka W or whatever, is still smaller than Dailymotion, a platform that defines what happens when platforms like YouTube get too commercial and shrink. It's like, finally, another thing off of the list. What do we have for lifetime here? Just looking at here, see if anybody even stops by. A couple of lurkers here and there that come and go, unless they're spam bots that find out they can't tell me about, super hot pics or whatever because I use the actual spam filter and only subscribers can talk in the chat. Subscribing is free on YouTube, by the way. But the bigger issue is the streams being viewed after the fact, like their videos. That's very much a YouTube thing. There are two things left on my list to talk about here: Facebook gaming and the YouTube algorithm. So we're at about the hour and a half mark. Let's get up and stretch again, refill drinks, and just walk around for a bit. And then we get back, we're going to talk about Facebook. So I'll tell you what. People are like, where's the competition for YouTube? It's over at Facebook, not Twitch. Facebook could be a lot more of a competitor than it is. It's just Facebook holds itself back like nothing else. And it's sad, really. Competition is good. That's what capitalism runs off of. Companies competing with each other and delivering better products and services. But Facebook, good luck. We'll be right back. Gotta get the browser open to probably don't need to display it on the screen and stuff, to talk about the Facebook stuff. This is something that Zach Bussey was talking about earlier in the week. Now we're getting into the topics that I wanted to talk about during the week when there was the never-ending overtime and stuff because we decided to try and get Labor Day off, and then corporate said no. Hey, it's money either way. There's a lot of things people can complain about when it comes to jobs and work, but getting paid should not be one of them. So I'm looking through my Twitter here. There's been a couple of interesting things going on this week. One of them being all these one-word tweets and stuff. There's even somebody that found the email from when YouTube got started between Chad Hurley, Steve Chen, and Jawed Karim and stuff back then. There's a whole bunch of other things, too. There's rumors that Fuseli might be the next person to go to YouTube, and that would be hilarious, because I mostly know of her from signing an exclusivity deal with Twitch with 2 non-expiring DMCA strikes, so one more copyright strike would have gotten her permaban from the platform. Before Twitch finally woke up to the idea that their competitors have strikes that expire, and so, yeah. It's amazing, you know. Imagine an environment where you realize that the people using your platform are human beings and make mistakes. Ain't that something? All right, getting past all the kitty pictures and stuff, like cute kittens sleeping in a bowl or something like that. So Zach Bussey was doing a few things. Yeah, we got some things we can show on here. Zach Bussey was doing a few things and mentioned that Facebook, this little story that went around earlier this week, Facebook is shutting down the Facebook Gaming app. The Facebook Gaming app is being shut down. And it's amazing. People wonder why I talk about multimedia meta stuff. It's because there need to be educated, informed people following this stuff, because so many people, including content creators, just don't. Before all the ninja walking away from everything thing took the front page, there was talk about Facebook shutting down their app. And I cannot believe how many people thought that Facebook is going to be the next Mixer. Are you kidding me? Facebook, the next Mixer. Just because they're spinning into the dustbin an app that is 100% redundant to the ecosystem they already have. Are you kidding me? Get the Statista numbers on screen. Let's talk about some of the stuff. Statista. I thought I was doing like Starforge Systems for a second. The largest social media platforms is still as of January 2022, but Facebook and YouTube are the biggest, to the tune of at least 2.5 billion MAUs, compared to the 350 mil for Dailymotion and the 300 mil for Quora at the bottom of the list, which really makes me wonder why Dailymotion is not on the Statista list. All right, Zach Bussey. Apparently, Facebook Gaming is shutting down their iOS and Android apps on October 28th, 2022. Beginning on 28th of October 2022, the Facebook Gaming app for iOS and Android will no longer be available. After this date, this app will no longer work. You can download your gaming app search data at a link. We want to extend our heartfelt thanks to all of you for everything that you've done to build a thriving community for gamers and fans since this app first launched. This was truly a community-led effort to bring new gaming features to Facebook. Despite this news, why don't we just make the whole thing nice and big? Let's make the whole thing nice and big here. And start over while we're at it. Link up to this specific Chrome window now. All right, Zach Bussey posted this thing here. Beginning on 20th October, it's not going to work. You can get your data. Thank you for blah, blah, blah. Despite this news, our mission to connect players, fans, and creators with the games they love hasn't changed. And you'll still be able to find your games, streamers, and groups when you visit gaming in the Facebook app, the Facebook Gaming team. This is the announcement right here in full blue team color. That's it. They're shutting down the specific app for Facebook Gaming. Would you believe if I told you that there's a lot of people out there that seriously thought that Facebook Gaming was shutting down because of this? No. Facebook Gaming is not shutting down. They're just getting rid of an app that is 100% redundant and cannibalizes traffic from Facebook itself. And we've seen this before. You know who did this before a couple of years ago? YouTube. It's kind of a rite of passage at this point. People are like, oh, Facebook's like Mixer. You know who's more like Mixer right now? YouTube is. Buying talent, trying to get streaming to pop off on YouTube when they really should be fixing the UI. Seriously. We've seen this before, though. It's like a rite of passage. Enough with the Mixer references. Is Facebook the next Mixer? YouTube has more in common with Mixer right now than they're buying talent to try and get people to watch streams on there, but it's having mixed results at best. Many of the audiences coming over who watch streamers on YouTube are either fans of mainstream media, or which would have a large fan base to begin with, or it's people from the pre-YouTube era, like with the streamers coming over. They bring their audiences with them. Many times they actually had a YouTube channel they were telling people to follow. They were posting highlight videos too that they're now streaming from. So Twitch streamers coming over to YouTube are just doing better at retaining their live audiences, but they bring the audience over from Twitch. I find it interesting. Years ago, when YouTube was a lot less transparent, we used to have to guess and speculate and work off of anecdotal stuff. This idea that the biggest YouTubers were bringing audiences over from other platforms, not growing it organically on YouTube. This is before there was as many algorithms as there is today. We used to have to speculate about this kind of stuff. Nowadays, though, YouTube openly admits and then does it right in front of our face with these streamers that they're essentially buying with these exclusivity contracts. We used to have to wonder if YouTube was doing it. Now they're just doing it right in front of our face. Look, somebody with an audience from somewhere else is coming over to YouTube and becoming an established YouTuber. There's no answer for how to grow your YouTube channel aside from trying to play the algorithm and crack the code or whatever. Well, not like hacking stuff, but you know what I mean. Make videos with that nice little spark in them that the algorithm will actually know what to do with them and crap like that. Or, of course, the generic response from Team YouTube. Watch these videos on the Creator Academy for blah, 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 blah. Just seriously. That's YouTube, the platform that resembles Mixer more these days, not Facebook. This is history repeating itself. When YouTube first tried to make a Twitch competitor in the 2010s, YouTube Gaming was completely separate, had a separate app and the whole 9 yards. The app went away. Did game streaming on YouTube die? Absolutely not. Did YouTube deprecate streaming and no longer add new features? Absolutely not. So why should we expect Facebook to do the same? Go back to full cam. I don't want these people on screen. Let me look at some of Zach Bussy's audience here and the crap they're saying. Zach was like, oh, not shocked. Zuckerberg has been clearly thinks an economic downturn is here, and it may be a long one. Maintaining an app that isn't getting a ton of downloads, ineffective use of capital. No, it's just redundant. TechCrunch. When did YouTube shut down the YouTube? September of 2018, so a couple of years ago to the month. YouTube shut down the separate app they had for YouTube Gaming, and they folded a lot of its features over into YouTube proper. Here's a little something from the TechCrunch article that's lighting me up like crazy right now. Sarah Perez, September 18th, 2018. YouTube will no longer maintain a separate app targeting gaming and live gaming streaming, the company announced today. The YouTube Gaming app, which first arrived in 2015, will be sunset sometime next spring as its host of features make their way over to YouTube's main site. Over the years, the YouTube Gaming app has been a place where YouTube experimented with features catering to game creators and viewers who like to watch live and recorded esports. Here, it tested things like game pages to make games more discoverable, super chat, and channel memberships, features which the Amazon-owned game streaming site Twitch had also popularized among the game community. So let's see here. Some of YouTube Gaming's features became so well received, the company brought them to YouTube. For example, channel memberships were introduced, Super Chat was introduced to the broader community as well. But while gaming remains one of YouTube's top verticals, no one was really using the standalone gaming app, the company says. 200 million people that are logged in watching gaming content every single day, said Ryan Wyatt at the time. The majority of them, quite frankly, are just not using the YouTube gaming app for their gaming experiences. That number is low because this was 2018. Let's see here. 11 million installs across iOS and Android. And those installs apparently had remained consistent over time, indicates a large number of people who were at least willing to try the app. But the firm also found that its daily users were a tiny fraction of Twitch's on iOS, which confirms Wyatt's point about lack of usage. Yeah, I mean, a separate app just for gaming when you already have a YouTube app that you're trying to build up, and YouTube was going in the direction that it's since gone in since then. So, another thing from Mr. Fwiz back then. Wyatt points out, too, that YouTube gaming won't be all about live streams. The other thing that we learned through this process is that the gaming app and the narrative around it was very heavily live focused. Everybody always talked about all the live streaming and live gaming, he says, but what that did was underserve the vast gaming business. By moving it over to YouTube main, you have this beautiful combination of both the gaming streams that are continuing to grow massively on YouTube as well as the other VOD content on the platform. And that's what you see. You go to game directories on YouTube these days, you'll see a lot of times if people aren't streaming them, because YouTube's game streaming is way smaller than Twitch in terms of hours streamed. If you don't have, that's something that can actually be compared apples to apples, even though Twitch gets a little advantage in those quarterlies because YouTube is limited to game stream hours. But YouTube often pads up those things, those pages, those directories, which do exist, but they're very hard to find and they're very metadata unfriendly. You can't share them anywhere. They won't auto-populate. You're just sharing a link if you try sharing those pages. You can bookmark them, though, and that's what I do. I keep an eye on ESO and some other stuff with Twitch versus YouTube with the directories and things like that. Matter of fact, let me go see how ESO is doing. Sully Gnome, Twitch, shoot. I actually have to go to, I don't know, it's in my Firefox browser on this one. Switch off to Firefox. So Elder Scrolls Online on YouTube. Who's streaming? Nobody. But if I go to the front page, recent Let's Play, there's a whole bunch of Let's Play playlists, but there's nothing populating. It's just ESO is just so dead on YouTube right now that there isn't even, I mean, or maybe the directory is completely broken. Home. How about ESO? Oh, they're having problem. Oh, how about ESO High Isle? Let me click. Oh, okay. So YouTube is having the same fragmentation problems. YouTube's having the same fragmentation problems like what happened with Forza Horizon 5, where there's different game directories for literally every game expansion out there. So there are nobody's live with High Isle specifically, but there are some videos and Let's Plays because people are clicking that because YouTube doesn't have a directory that's all ESO or something. It's way too fragmented, which is one of the reasons why streaming is smaller on YouTube. Bunch of Russian videos in here too, so you have videos from all around the world that are being clumped together, even if it says, most popular in your region. There just isn't enough content. There just isn't enough content here. So ESO High Isle. We could link to Firefox. We want to quit being so lazy here, but this is the one thing here. Look at World of Warcraft. World of Warcraft, does that have the same problem? No, World of Warcraft has live streamers, and how many concurrents do they have? Sorted by the most viewers in your region. 20 concurrents on the biggest World of Warcraft stream on YouTube. My region and worldwide now. 10 concurrents, 3 concurrents, 3, nothing, 2, 2, 1, 36 concurrents for La Taberna del Enano. Let's see here. Yeah, so the largest World of Warcraft stream in the directory right now is only 20 concurrents. That's how much smaller YouTube is as a game streaming platform. The streamers that are coming over from Twitch are bringing a Twitch audience with them who continue to watch them on YouTube, and in many cases we're already subscribed to their YouTube channel very specifically for the game streams. And that's the environment that we find ourselves up against with this thing here. So my response, which everybody blew off, which go ahead, by all means, Zach Bussey fans, mute me all you want. You're not going to change the truth. Some of them even blocked me preemptively. Because, like, I'm some kind of troublemaker just because I tell the truth. I'm not apologizing for that. Nothing exciting here. YouTube doesn't have a dedicated streaming app, and Facebook should combine Facebook Live with Facebook Gaming anyways for even more consolidation, which is exactly what YouTube did. They folded YouTube gaming into YouTube's entire live stream thing. YouTube Live is still a thing, but it's all one big thing now. Let's see here. I'm going to talk about Facebook. Facebook is developing a product called Super, which might be a competitor to Twitch. But all right, let's see here. Let's get to the crap things people are saying. End of Facebook gaming. I don't know if their numbers are up still. This could lead to Facebook gaming's downfall, shutting down the app. I feel they're just going to merge into normal Facebook to save a couple of bucks. I don't think it'll be as effective. Someone's like, all right, it's already in the regular Facebook app and has always been there. Shows how much I'm on Facebook, let alone check Facebook gaming. Here's another one. Oh, gosh, Mixer 2.0 soon. I know a lot of people who are leaving Facebook gaming, too. Anecdotal evidence. I love how everyone is surprised. When I think Facebook gaming, I still think of my mom playing Farmville. Yeah, listen to this. There was a Facebook gaming app? Let me tell you about Farmville. This will literally kill a lot of streamers' viewership. Like, lol, I don't see anything positive coming out of this. It's like doom and gloom just because they're spinning off an app, which is redundant to the entire rest of Facebook. Let's see. Do you think this is a sign of Facebook gaming shutting down altogether? Are they just trying to unify their products onto one app? Oh, someone gets it. Most of this reads like a Mixer-esque thanks for everything, bye forever, until they explain the gaming tab on the Facebook app. As a former Mixer streamer, I'm getting some flashbacks. Mixer all over again. Hey, I liked Mixer. I did too. I liked it better when it was Beam. Missed opportunity to rename to Meta Gaming. Meta gaming is a bad thing in some MMOs, so, in some online RPGs, so that might not be a good idea. What's Facebook gaming? There's an app for Facebook gaming. Some people didn't even know the app existed. It's probably YouTube Gaming 2.0, where people didn't even know the app was there, didn't even know that Facebook was working. Facebook is just too split out anyways. They have streaming available. They have robust features if you stream games. Roll them into Facebook Live, become more of a comprehensive platform. Because there's a thing going on here. We'll just use this the Statista numbers as a light. I really have to come up with I have to come up with some better lighting with this kind of stuff. Let me just refresh something here too. Multimedia-X, the most 90s stream title ever, blah, blah, blah. But I have stuff to talk about. All right. Excuse me. 1891 dropped frames 1%. I got to call the ISP and get a line test run. Yeah, thunderstorm come through and things haven't been the same since. Somebody's got to work on something around this neck of the woods. So, Facebook gaming. Facebook gaming. It's just Facebook gaming and Facebook Live are too fragmented. Let me just mention one thing. When YouTube was doing YouTube gaming back in the mid-2010s, Twitch was also going in a very similar direction. Twitch, with the uploads experiment, was trying to become a more comprehensive platform. So the idea that Ryan Wyatt back then talked about is not something that the industry didn't already know about. The idea of going from game streaming to a comprehensive gaming hub was already something Twitch was doing at the time. And of course, what was it, 2018? Wasn't that about around the time that uploads were gated to being Twitch affiliate as well? I think yeah. Maybe the whole gaming thing was just a response to try and shut down YouTube. But I think YouTube had the right idea here. Gaming can't just be about the live streams. People are also looking for tutorials, let's plays. They're looking to see what a game is like before they buy it. Maybe they like certain gaming celebrities, AVGN fans, things along those lines. So it's not just about the streamers. On Twitch, it's about the streamers because that's all Twitch has. YouTube, it's all about personalities, and Facebook should be taking some hints from that. Back to the Bussy crowd here. Lol Bussy, your name is Bussy, and L Bussy. I sometimes Zach ticks off the Fortnite fans, and he sees stuff like that. Excuse me, XQC fans. Darn kids. Honestly, just pouring one out for those that tried using the platform. No disrespect to anyone trying to grow a career. It absolutely sucks to see any type of competition close. Why do they think that they're shutting down an app? Next tweet. This signaling the death of Facebook gaming overall remains to be seen, of course, but generally who uses a Facebook browser to watch content? I know that's part of the problem. Facebook just is too stuck in the MySpace days. And that's one of the reasons why YouTube is doing as well as it is, because Facebook doesn't have their act together. See where I did there? I mean, I talk about how Twitch does well because of stuff YouTube doesn't have it together on. Well, YouTube's not always on one side of this issue. I think YouTube would be a lot more shaking in their boots if Facebook ever got it together. We'll get to that in a bit. I don't game much there anymore, but I used to have one and it vanished in an update, and I wasn't a happy camper because I'd played it for 8 years. Talking about playing games on Facebook gaming back when it was like Farmville and stuff, and playing games in a Facebook browser window back when Flash still worked. Someone who gets it. I expected as much. Why do you even need a separate app for Facebook gaming? Watching on a regular Facebook app and FBGG will give the same experience. Mixer all over again? People are still using Facebook? Wait, what? Why not just announce they've died? I mean, they're dead already. Just announce it. They are. The biggest issue with Facebook gaming is the markets they dominate in. They are only able to grab up the market share in markets. They're only able to grab up the market share in markets that someone else wasn't already dominating. Twitch dominates North America, Western Europe. There is plenty of activity going on over... There's also stuff where YouTube is the more dominant streaming platform. But let me just roll on down, scroll back to those pictures I put up earlier. I won't put those on the screen. Yeah, some memes from Sega Master Tim. Some other stuff as well. Lag, Super Mario Sunshine. Where was that? August 26th. I think I've gone back too far. There's where iShow Speed got trolled. Where is... See, that's the problem with going so long between having these conversations, is that it gets hard to dig things up. I need tabs just to do the most basic things here. It's before the rant about YouTube. See here. Oh, yeah. Facebook gaming. Another important thing about Facebook gaming is that the mainstream media was like, oh, they can't compete with Twitch because they're spinning off an app. There were even people in the media getting this wrong. This is my Devin Nash moment. This is me saying that a lot of people got this wrong, and people who understand the industry will get this right, and not many people do. And that's fundamentally what the problem is. So a while back, we did the whole Streamlabs, Stream Hatchet thing. I'm suspicious of those numbers because Twitch has a bit of an advantage over YouTube and Facebook, and it really obscures the sheer size of YouTube and Facebook in terms of MAUs. So but we'll reference that. Let's go back to browser mode here. So here's Quora, 300 million MAUs from, this is Statista from the beginning of the year, of course. Most popular social networks worldwide as of January 2022, ranked by MAUs. So Dailymotion should be in here too, and it wouldn't even be at the bottom of this list if they started at 300 mil with Quora. Dailymotion's in here between Quora and Reddit. Here's the top. Twitch is not on the list because they're at like 140 mil between everything. You can imagine the watch hours or less for gaming. Compare that to hours streamed. I've been meaning to make some kind of Power Query tool to get the real numbers from those quarterlies based on the percentage of Twitch's watch hours going to game streams, then have an apples-to-apples comparison of game streaming directly. I should do that. Maybe another stream some other night. Top of the list, though, is Facebook. Look, the social media competition world out there is a game for Facebook to lose. This is Facebook Messenger is separate from all of this. Probably, I mean, it's a messaging app. So the traffic got split for that. But Facebook proper, I keep saying Facebook is the sleeping giant. Just shy of 3 billion MAUs. 2.9 bill. 2.9 billion versus YouTube's 2.5 billion. Imagine if Facebook had it together. This is something I bring up a lot. What happens if I dark mode this? Does it look any better? Oh, this is cool looking. We'll go with this. It highlights the data a lot more. So, Facebook is absolutely the sleeping giant. The showdown between large media platforms that people can, make stuff on is not red versus purple. It's like the old web cartoon, red versus blue. It's just Facebook doesn't have it together. There's a couple things holding back Facebook. One of them is their age. Facebook was originally a MySpace competitor. Some of that is still around, specifically the real names thing. Earlier today, I saw Tech Tangents post the nasty gram he got from Facebook support that his Facebook account had been shut down for violating community standards. Part of the problem was not using his real name and making a brand account on Facebook. You can make brand pages, but your account that you access Facebook with needs to be an individual account. And that's one of the problems at Facebook Gaming as well. Facebook Gaming has too much real names thing. It's too much of a security risk. Turn off the fans. Getting a little chilly in here.
All right, turning off 2 fans.
Thank you.
Just doing my job.
The voice for the Google speakers changed. I don't know why. It sounds weird. Facebook, though, is the sleeping giant. Look at this. Imagine if Facebook had it together. Now, YouTube is going in Facebook's direction. Videos, short form, streams, text updates, and pictures via the community tab. What does Facebook have? Text updates, photos with albums, and you can view the photos full size, unlike on Instagram, which is primarily focused on looking at it on phone screens. You have that, plus you have videos, plus you have streams. If you have videos, by definition, you also have short form. Maybe we'll see Facebook eventually create some kind of short form platform to compete with YouTube and TikTok, if not folded into Facebook proper. But Facebook is what it is. It's a juggernaut that has a couple of things wrong with it. If you watch videos on Facebook, you find out there's quality issues. And I don't know if they're still doing this because it's been a while since I looked at Facebook Gaming and what they offer people with their monetization. But last I checked, you were stuck at 720/30 until you got partnered. But it was real easy to get partnered. So when you get monetized, you get access to full quality game streaming. But where's the audience? Especially when Facebook only dominates in Southeast Asia and a few other markets that YouTube and Twitch are not as dominant in. But the real names thing and a few other dated things, Facebook fundamentally, if it was a platform similar to YouTube, would be a monster. Way more to offer. But there's problems. There's quality of video. There's problems with the quality of the video and stuff like that. There's 30, 60 FPS support's a little sketchy. Stuff like that. And then there's what to do about personal social media versus persona social media. If you want to be a personality on Facebook, can you do that without risking your privacy? Especially when Facebook is so obsessed with real names. And can your audience be a proper audience without risking their privacy? Not that that matters all the time, because there's people trolling on Facebook that have where they work, where they live, blah, 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 all publicly visible. So you can find out that so-and-so from 3 towns over is completely messed up. You know, I don't want to hire them. I don't want to work with them. I don't want to do business with them. It's just like people are so used to internet anonymity that they keep acting like trolls, even when the anonymity is gone and they have their actual picture, where they live, where they work. Everything's public. So, yeah, Facebook has some issues. If Facebook had it together, they would be the evil empire, though. Look at those numbers. They would be the evil empire, and YouTube, of all places, would be the underdog. So the question is, when is Facebook going to get it together? Well, Mark Zuckerberg, if he can't do it himself, he needs to get some leadership that's going to make this happen. Because when platforms have monopolies, like when YouTube was too monopolistic a couple of years ago, they get a little lazy. Today we see a lot of like trying to improve features and transparency and creator insider and active Twitter presences from big YouTube brass and stuff. Not Susan Wojcicki, but a lot of people involved in stuff like YouTube streaming, how the algorithm works, things like that. There's all this other stuff that's going on. That didn't used to be the case. YouTube used to be this giant question mark. We used to have to wonder, oh, they changed the algorithms that views don't matter as much as watch hours. Will I ever have a successful YouTube channel now that they fundamentally changed the platform? That was the early 2010s. But Facebook, it is Facebook's game to lose versus YouTube. Much like in the same way that it was YouTube's game to lose when Twitch became a little more mainstream during the adpocalypse era. So, Facebook, let's see here. Let's look at these numbers from the quarterly. that I'm now taking a look at. Hours watched versus hours streamed. So they're about half the size of YouTube, which is very small compared to Twitch. But take about 20, if we take 20% of that 5640 off the top, assuming it's an 80-20 split, and 80% times 0.8, and 80% is game streaming on Twitch. Expansion categories, I think we're like 12 to 15% of the total hours watched. That brings them down to 45-12. So YouTube's a quarter of the size of Facebook's game streaming if it's an 80-20 split. And then quarter of the size, Facebook's an eighth of the size. They're not as known. They have issues internally. They got to clean things up with their UI. Facebook just isn't an omni-media destination, but they have the tools to become like that. Then you look at the hours streamed in millions, and you consider these ratio differences here. If YouTube and Facebook, the more they get their UI act together and start getting more people watching more streams, the better they'll be as streaming platforms. But it is these two platforms, as dominant as they are, game to lose versus Twitch. But here we have Facebook. Facebook is I don't entirely 100% disagree with the people that are relating Facebook to Mixer. I just don't think Facebook is going to shut down like Mixer. I think there's going to have to be some new leadership and some new visionary folks in there that fix this fundamental problem. Facebook had a huge publicity campaign to get people streaming on Facebook. They've succeeded in getting streamers. They don't have the audience. Half the audience of YouTube, dominant in only a few markets versus YouTube and Twitch, but they have almost as many hours streamed. This is also the Dailymotion thing we talked about earlier, where if you're in the US and you speak English, you have a much smaller audience than what they officially report worldwide because of the share of the English-speaking market. You go looking for games to watch on Facebook, you might have to sift through a couple of languages just to find someone live, and Facebook hasn't gotten to the point where they're bringing in after-the-fact content to pad those directories. So I have problems trying to find people to watch on Facebook. And the UI for Facebook, even on desktop with a big TV screen, is still clunky as heck to watch videos with. It's just a matter of Facebook is too much of a jack of trades, ace at none, and that's what holds it back. It could be a monster if it ever got its act together. So we get into the Streamlabs quarterlies, hours watched over time. The dotted line is Mixer, by the way, so Facebook has been more successful than Mixer. There was a time when they were more successful in YouTube, but YouTube has leveled out to about this, while Facebook's been in decline since Q3 2021 for hours watched. If they got it together, they could probably be a little bigger and stuff. But remember, this is probably about only 20% as high as it is, so it's not as big of a gap between Twitch and the others. Hours streamed. Who wants to be a streamer? Looks like people are wisening up and they're backing off in terms of hours streamed on Facebook. So if this continued long enough, then it would solve the problem of not being able to find someone to watch when your ratio of viewers versus streamers got a little more acceptable again. But there's hours streamed. We know Mixer's viewers were blah down at the bottom, but they did manage to get people to stream but couldn't get an audience for them. But Twitch is kind of in decline as well. Their peak was the beginning of 2021, which corresponds with the hours and whatnot that people were watching. So maybe it is a feedback loop or chicken egg or something like that. And here's the ratio. Hours watched versus hours streamed ratio over time. So Facebook is kind of a pseudo Twitch, except much smaller. So yeah, it's like the feature's there, but it's very, very entry level. I've actually seen people who I was introduced to on Facebook switch back to Twitch, of all things, not even go to YouTube. Switch back to Twitch. But that's what I got out of the quarterly. Facebook has problems with technology not being as refined. Their UI is clunky. And the real names thing is probably the biggest killer on the platform. Dates back to the MySpace era, when your social media pages were basically a personal e-shrine, a successor to a personal web page. Not a thing these days. There's people that are personalities on the internet. They'll gladly link up with people besides their family and friends from the offline world and stuff like that. But people need to stop pretending it's the end of Facebook gaming. Just because the standalone app is being shut down doesn't mean, I mean, Facebook's core experience already has a gaming tab, but the best thing they could do at this point is revamp their UI. People know Facebook is there, but it's not the number one destination for things, even though Facebook has all of the tools for people on Facebook with brand pages to be personalities with presences on the internet. And one more important thing before we get up and stretch and come back for some discussions about YouTube's algorithms. Facebook as a destination for content isn't a complete zero. There's an ongoing problem that's been a thing on Facebook for a long time, where people will start a Facebook page and steal content from YouTube to introduce it to that huge, nearly 3 billion MAU audience on Facebook. I wonder if there's content ID or digital fingerprinting issues with some of this. People, kind of like the clip sniping thing, where people take Twitch clips, introduce them to YouTube, and then the Twitch streamer going over to YouTube gets hit with a reused content demonetization and stuff on their channel because somebody else uploaded their content first. Even though it's their content, the system thinks the other person is the owner, and they consider the content to be reused. I wonder if there's a Facebook version of that, and some digital fingerprinting system will suspect you of violating someone else's copyright, even when it's your own, because some sniper type will upload your stuff before you do. Something to think about. But Facebook, the only reason Facebook isn't the evil empire that everybody's fighting against is because they don't have their stuff together. If they did, it would be a very different world. There is a huge, huge, huge difference between that and Mixer, Microsoft's attempt to recreate Twitch that they couldn't get people to watch, and they eventually shut it down. If you think that Facebook, with everything it has going right, despite all the stuff it has going wrong, if you think that Facebook is anything like Mixer, sit down. It has a few cosmetic similarities to Mixer, but Facebook is far from something resembling Microsoft's Twitch clone. And in today's world where we're seeing streamers start to figure out that the world's going more omnimedia and decide, like Pokimane did earlier, to do a wider variety of content besides stream grinding all the time, in a day and age where even the end users are figuring this out, it's beyond stupid to think that Mixer, even if they had an audience, would have had a future, because the scope was too narrow. If Microsoft wanted to make a Twitch competitor, they should have really made a YouTube competitor instead, and that was too big of a hill to climb. Give it a few more years, and I'll tell you right now, it is September 2nd, 2022. If Tencent ever gets sick and tired of barfing money into Trovo, we'll see Trovo go down the path of Mixer. We're more likely to see Trovo go down the path of Mixer because Tencent decides to put the money elsewhere when it doesn't pan out the way they want it to. Facebook is not in that position. They have things to fix, they have things to clean up, but they are very much a sleeping giant. Emphasis on giant. Not some scrappy little startup that's trying to carve a niche for themselves. Enough Facebook stuff. 2:11:44 for live time. Let's have a jazz intermission one last time, and let's come back and let's talk YouTube algorithms. Because, like what I'm seeing now with the viewers, what I'm seeing with the views, and what I'm seeing with some of YouTube's new tools, the YouTube algorithms, the jig is up, YouTube. Enough with the spin, enough with the nonsense. People can keep an eye on the algorithms and see if they're doing anything for their channels now. The party's over. And the transparency to keep YouTube honest is here. We'll be back. That song quits a little bit too suddenly. That song quits a little bit too suddenly for me to really respond to it in time. Oh well. Anyways, we are back for the final discussion in this Multimedia-X. It's the original idea for it was the Multimedia-X, but it seemed a little redundant compared to Multimedia-X. So it's kind of stupid. It's a reference to the extreme marketing campaigns of the 1990s and stuff like that. I remember the X Games and extreme this, extreme that, extreme skateboarding, extreme snowboarding, extreme, I know I've lost weight, but I got to loosen the belt a bit because I'm sitting down, extreme being a fat guy, whatever. Yeah, I actually was going to go out earlier tonight. So I'm actually dressed up in work clothes with and stuff like that instead of lounging around the house. I was thinking of going for a walk earlier and checking out some secondhand stores, maybe tomorrow, because the ag fairs are going on right now. So that's going to suck everybody out of the local businesses because they're all riding rides and petting cows and seeing who grew the tallest pumpkin, the biggest pumpkin or whatever this year and stuff along those lines. But I think we're all set with this topic list because we're going to talk about the YouTube algorithm. Before we begin, though, a little something left over from last go-round with Facebook Gaming and them shutting down their app and stuff like that. Facebook Gaming, with the amount of MAUs that Facebook has, is more than big enough to be trying to be a YouTube competitor and not a Twitch competitor. They need to step it up. They have the resources to do what Mixer couldn't. I know there's people that are saying, oh, Facebook Gaming is the next Mixer. The only way that they shrink down into irrelevance as a platform is for Facebook to basically undercut themselves. That's basically the best way to say it. Not live up to their potential. They have the user base and they have the tools, but they just don't put them together. That's why Facebook is in the sleeping giant position that it is in. But I mean, competition is pretty good. It's good for business and it's good for industry and it's good for the consumer. When you don't have enough competition, you will have platforms getting snooty and stuck up, and you will see stuff like this. One of the problems I've had with Twitch streamers, this is from Sully Gnome. One of the problems that I've been having with Twitch streamers is when they get blown off for partnership and they take it very personally, not realizing the numbers that are involved. This is the monthly active streamers on Twitch, whether split by partner and affiliate. Yeah, purple is the partners. The surge in viewership happened in 2020. What happened? Way more affiliates. People who are able to get 3 concurrents and get into the program. But the difference now comes down to like tens of thousands of partners, and some people even believe that because of the nature of being a Twitch partner, that the number is too big. They need to shrink down to where the partners all have managers, and everybody else can have an account manager, and everybody else is an affiliate. And I can just move the mugshot here. I can move my little mugshot out of the way. You can see the top of this. Over 1 million affiliates going live versus only tens of thousands of partners. I hope this really illustrates the significant digits and the exponential side of going from like thousands to millions, millions to billions, etc. These differences matter a lot. But this is the split, especially since 2020 with the lockdowns. Tons and tons and tons of Twitch affiliates going live versus tens of thousands of partners. But there's so many people out there that think that your natural progression on Twitch is to go from rookie to affiliate to partner. Your natural progression on Twitch is to go from rookie to affiliate. Twitch will partner you if they think you're worth partnering. Partners are handpicked, and there's usually some kind of marketability advertising side to it as well. Turn on the main fan. Now it's a little too warm in here.
Sure. Turning on the main fan.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jay.
We'll let the internet lag out like it's been doing right in time for me to get the fan going, get some things going here. But this is one of the reasons why I say keep everything in perspective. There is a big difference between the major platforms and these minor platforms. Minor platforms, just little things on the side, but it's an exponential difference in the numbers, just like on Twitch. It's an exponential difference in Twitch affiliate versus Twitch partner, particularly post-pandemic. It also doesn't help things that Twitch affiliate is fully automated, but Twitch partner requires a manually reviewed application, and you have to be marketable to be a partner. As we know from the story of the guy who got blown off multiple times for partnership, who flew out to TwitchCon San Diego to confront Twitch staff directly, and they told him they weren't going to market him because he was 38, a little too old for what they were looking for. That's the situation with that. All right, let's back out of this. Let's look at some things related to the YouTube algorithms. Oh boy, has this been the summer of the algorithm or what? You go to my Twitter and you see in the media section, the most recent stuff is all algorithm charts. That's when you know something's up. I've actually wound up in an argument, a little bit of one, with the product manager involved with search and discovery on YouTube. And we're going to take a look at his feedback here. But let me just see if I can scroll down to this. All this stuff that was going on during the overtime week that I never got around to. Where were all the pictures and the graphs and stuff? That's the stream thing for Facebook. Where is... So, bottom line is, YouTube, once upon a time, you had to... I think I don't see any of these because I was responding to stuff. Or maybe I was doing something. Yeah, I'm going back too far. I'm back to August 25th now. Let's just go to... What was this post again? Oh, it was response to the YouTube liaison. That's a dupe. Let's go back to the other one. Great Geek House reshuffle, August 31st. Hard evidence the YouTube algorithm is the digital middleman, and your videos only get views when it lets you have them. This is going to be interesting. So, years ago, YouTube was a lot less transparent than it is now. And we were sitting around making theories and conjecture and anecdotes and stuff like that about why our videos weren't getting views. Somewhere along the line, YouTube decided to get more transparent and roll out more analytics. These analytics allow anybody with a data or a math background or any of this type of stuff, myself included, to look into the data and get some insights. That's why a lot of data science stuff is called insights from data and stuff. To look into the data and actually see what the issue was. There recently was, of course, the audience tab, which shows new members versus returning members. Returning members would be your subscribers. Returning viewers would be your subscribers would probably be mostly your subscribers that are getting notifications and watching. And maybe the algorithm bringing some folks who aren't subscribed back a few more times before shutting you off. But it's the subscribers that are the most. Now I'm tripping the Amazon speaker. It's the subscribers that are the biggest contributors for that kind of stuff. And then there's the new viewers. Signs the algorithm is doing its job. You can get separate bars for that or lines for that in the graphs. So you can see what's happening. And I find it interesting. We're just going to plow through this despite the lag spikes. I find it interesting that YouTube has these issues, right? I find it interesting that despite all the talk about make videos for people and not computers and blah, 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 that it's very easy nowadays to dig through your analytics and see when the YouTube algorithm is turning you on and off. We saw this with the PlayStation video. The PlayStation video was taking off and going viral until the algorithms shut it off. It's like someone literally turning off a switch. The algorithm is a digital middleman. I find it interesting that Rene Ritchie, the new YouTube liaison, says his job is to advocate for creators inside of YouTube, but he keeps making excuses for YouTube among the creators on Twitter. I think he's flipping the job in reverse. Let's take a look at this. The PlayStation video. Well, let's go to the top of the thread here. Hard evidence that the YouTube algorithm is the digital middleman and your videos only get views when it lets you have them. A reminder that algorithms, like we talk about on YouTube, are not unique to YouTube. They also are a thing on Facebook, Instagram, even Tinder. If you're looking for dates, you can get shadow banned and you'll get a whole bunch of fake profiles of people that will never even respond to you because they're not real. It's like every platform can be spammed, every platform can be spoofed, and every platform can have little things running behind the scenes that shut you down. YouTube is no exception. And then there's things like when Facebook tells people to pay a premium in order for their posts to keep going around. Let's take a look at some of this here. PlayStation video got 2770 views before the algorithm shut it off. This is from the audience tab. You can look at the audience tab and you can see the differences between what your subscribers do and what the algorithm does. Now, this is not to say that you should never subscribe to anybody, although I wonder, with the way Twitter works nowadays, whether the subscription system is borderline obsolete because people just want to find something to watch nowadays and they don't really care who it is. So if someone watching like 30 TikToks in a 5-minute period or something, they probably don't even know who those people are. They're just entertained by dogs doing backflips or someone dancing in their room or someone doing an impression of this, that, the other, or someone else's cookie recipe or what have you. That's really the problem with short form, is that it's disconnecting the audience from actually becoming fans of content creators because how short the content is. The content that goes through short form stuff is not long enough for people to take seriously. And we see similar effects over on Twitter with people reposting 1-minute TikTok videos, stuff like that. And we'll see it on Instagram with Reels and other stuff. So what I found interesting was just how much the subscriber, not subscriber ratio changes depending on whether the algorithm's doing anything with my videos or not. Not to say that I don't like my subscribers. I do like my subscribers. It's just that technology and this type of stuff boils down to a showdown between people and technology. And with how big YouTube is and its search engine possibilities and what YouTube is trying to do with creating an AI to match people up with stuff they'll be interested in watching, the computers are eventually going to win. So what we need is a system that works for everybody with these algorithms, not just a handful of commercial partners. I know that's supposed to sound a bit like Bernie Sanders talking about the billionaires, but it is kind of a situation like that. Remember, Dailymotion is what people are afraid YouTube's going to get like. 100% commercial, walling off UGC, user-generated content, and not monetizing it and bragging to potential advertisers that they don't do that. It's not good. This is the PlayStation video. Big spike until the algorithm shut it off, and it's been dead ever since. 91% of the 2770 views are from people that aren't subscribed. And I got about 15 subscribers out of that. Signs of the times. People don't care. Once upon a time, YouTube was a lot more of a form of social media than it is now. Account names mattered. People mattered. Today, there's a couple of big YouTubers that people remember, but they're very close-minded to literally everybody else. You know, your fans are your best people. Defend them. Try and support them, because you're not going to get very many of them unless you get really lucky. But notice the differences. Notice the differences in the algorithm versus what the subscribers can. And I'll tell you right now, there are way more people out there the algorithm could show the video to than people subscribe to the channel. Even if all 3,800 people were watching, they would still get eclipsed. Not in this case with the 2770 views, but my channel's been around long enough that my subscriber count is a total score for the channel. It's not. It's a total score for the channel over 15 years. It's not any indication of a current audience with lapsed accounts, expiring accounts, accounts only used once a year, whatever it is. So, and of course, there's been a problem with cheating on YouTube since the beginning. I heard about people buying views and buying subs way back in the mid-2000s. Never mind today with YouTube having all the policies that it has. So, the PlayStation video, 91.6% not subscribed. Huge spike, thousands of views. It was great getting views again for a change, but the system would eventually shut me off. Great Geek House Reshuffle begins, barely past 100 views. Way bigger purple spike than blue spike. 70% of the traffic is from the subscribers. The algorithm didn't pass this around. It didn't go anywhere. Now, I know collectively my channel is getting supported by the algorithm across every video on the platform. But the ones that are getting picked and passed around are just weird. Why am I MultimediaJay for 15 years, and yet washer and dryer video do well, the uglier side of George Foreman grills does well, Forza Horizon 4 with no graphics card is kind of interesting. Maybe I should make one for Forza Horizon 5 or make YouTube shorts out of it. I know people are like, well, if you want views, get YouTube shorts. YouTube Shorts, though, are their own ecosystem. I'd have to make a special... I'm thinking of making a special format that lets people subscribe or move on to a full-size video with Shorts. One of the things I've committed to at Shorts, though, is not having them ping in people's subscriptions. So people want to see the long-form stuff the most, so I probably, if I do Shorts, you'll just see them show up one day and you'll watch them. But will they get any views if that's the case? I don't know. Watch time from subscribers. This video barely cracked 100 views. 70% subscribed. So once the subscribers take back over, then we end up with things like the gradually sinking numbers on the tech videos because the algorithm's not doing anything with them. It's just people watching, they get bored, they move on, they watch something else or life happens, and the number just shrinks and shrinks and shrinks. Returning to CRTs after over a decade, 680 views, blue spike eclipses the purple spike, 58% of traffic not from subscribers, the algorithm sort of passed it around. So, what's the subject of the verbs here? What's the subject of the verbs here when you have something like this? This is the technology actually working. And I'll say this, my channel got off of square one because the technology worked in 2006. I was a nobody, no prior background in any of this, didn't bring an audience from anywhere. Got to 75 subscribers and 75 views a video by vlogging with the digital camera in 2006. The technology worked back then. It needs to work now. Here's an example of it kind of working, but not as much as the PlayStation video. So you see it in the ratio. Into the Daewoo, 213 views, went nowhere at first, as we see from the purple spike. Algorithm kicked in a little later with a blue spike. 52% of traffic not from subscribers. As we clearly see, YouTube's algorithms are more than capable of turning you on and shutting you off. There it is. Activity from the subscribers is the purple spike. Cool. Then the algorithm does something, and then that's it. Of course, it's unreasonable to expect subscribers to obsessively watch a video over and over and over again. That's why we have an algorithm. It's pretty simple, really. It's a big, big world out there. I need to be convinced that when a video only gets 100 views, it's because there are literally only 100 people in the billions of people in this world who would be interested in it. And the current state of YouTube's algorithms just does not convince me of that. That I've made something so poor and so terrible that literally only 100 people in the entire world are going to care about it. Especially when my stuff's not time sensitive. I know that stuff works better on YouTube. There's a date on it to know when I recorded it, but that's the extent of it. People could find out about me tinkering with my Daewoo TV anytime they want, as far in the future as they want. Seriously. Where's the technology in terms of what it does for people? And here's the Great Geek House Reshuffle continues. It got up to 39 views with 80% of activity from subscribers, next to nothing from the algorithm. This is what we're going to check in on after we take a look at some of this other stuff here. And here's the issue here. YouTube used to be the situation where we were the idiots in the dark who had to guess as to why our channels were doing as poorly as they were. And so there was all kinds of rumors and other stuff. But now there's analytics and there's stuff you can actually dig through and look at. Let's get the swear word off the screen. Yeah, big tech bullshit, yeah? I'm sure that counts as light swearing like hell or damn or something. We won't get demonetized for that. You're fighting algorithms even when you subscribe to someone on YouTube. Maybe if you ring the bell and set to all notifications, YouTube will actually do what it did 15 years ago. But otherwise, it's a classic illusion of control move. Give people a button to push. Not just a YouTube problem either. Facebook has this going on and stuff like that. In the 2000s, it was about your viral, going viral, da-da-da. Algorithm slot machine, F the algorithm, anywho, etc. But let's take a look at what's going on with the algorithm after we take a look at the feedback I got from the YouTube product manager, who tried to explain my PlayStation video over in the Rene Ritchie creator YouTube liaison thread. YouTube liaison, he might have muted me or something, or blocked me or whatever. He hasn't blocked me yet. We'll see. Make videos for people, not machines. Why? So the machines can't do anything? Let's see here. So this guy, Todd B. at Hitsman on Twitter. Let me look at his tweets and replies. Is he going around on this publicity campaign? Product manager. Professional categories are self-selected, not assigned, verified, or endorsed by Twitter. See here. I'm looking at his responses because he's going on this publicity campaign. Oh, this is bad. So in response to the PlayStation video, Hitsman says this. The algorithm is reacting to the audience feedback here. It's ranking your video highly for viewers who haven't watched your channel before because those viewers are choosing to watch the whole video, liking it, returning to your channel for more, and rating it highly on surveys. Okay, but how do these people find my videos in the first place? How? Is it a popularity contest, Hitsman? The algorithm has to pass the video around before people can make decisions on it. That's my whole point. The algorithm is a digital middleman, and now there's the transparency tools in YouTube's analytics to see this. Let me take a look at some of his other things here. What's your number one struggle on YouTube? Impressions data, small channel with less than 5,000 subs, ASMR channel. My last two videos had 4,000 impressions, 34,000 impressions, only 1.4K views. Those aren't clicks and impressions related. 34,000 impressions and 1.4K views means 96% of the time YouTube shows your video to someone they choose not to watch. Dig in to figure out why you're not keeping people who watched before coming back or more, or convincing new potential viewers to watch. See? This is the same crap that the commentators do. They ignore the technology. The technology needs to send your video around for people to know that it's there. The subscription system needs to reliably work and not block notifications or glitch out notifications so people can know that you're uploading. The technology is always the middleman. And let's talk about impressions click-through rate here. Let's talk about the impressions click-through rate. You know what an impression is? It's YouTube showing you a video. You know what that means? The video populated somewhere. Now, there are any number of reasons in the world why someone won't watch your video. They could be looking for something else. They could be browsing and falling asleep at the keyboard. They could be looking to see what else is available, or someone else's video and whatnot is right alongside yours, and they click the big person's video or whatever instead. But that doesn't mean that just because they click something else doesn't mean that you did something wrong. This is classic false dilemma. It's a logical fallacy. The absence of a yes does not mean an automatic no. Oh, more lag. Lovely. The absence of a yes does not mean an automatic no. So, if someone chooses, an impression means your video showed up literally anywhere. People could have already decided they weren't going to watch your video and they're not interested in meeting new YouTubers. That's why YouTube made a system specifically to introduce people to stuff beyond what they normally watch. Just because someone doesn't click on your video does not mean that you are at fault. It's not you, it's them. They are the ones that made the choice. And there might have been something that biased them to the point where you have absolutely no chance. This guy's really being Mr. PR, man. Of course he is. What is he? A product lead for YouTube's homepage and recommendations since 2014. Opinions are my own and not my employer's. Oh, classic disclaimer thing here. Let's see. Pretty terrible videos out there to get more watch time they deserve because they use cynical tricks like long drawn-out table setting to keep the viewer watching. See 90% of conspiracy theory videos. Watch time does not always equate to enjoyment. Many viewers are wising up to this and seeking out more efficient content. Creators should not make content longer than it needs to be to deliver the value if they want to satisfy viewers and keep them coming back. He's pretending the technology doesn't exist, and he works on the technology. This is a giant Turing test. This is a huge Turing test here. They're trying to program a computer to show people what they might want to watch. It doesn't answer the question, though, of how you get picked up by the algorithm in the first place. This is classic YouTube right here. Talk around in circles, but dodge the real point. Just like when Team YouTube directs you to creator camp and whatnot, when fundamentally you can optimize or do whatever the little videos tell you to do and not get views because, quite frankly, the system doesn't send your stuff around. And the system has no way of knowing if people choose not to watch your video, whether or not you're part of the problem. And then they wonder why YouTube has problems with clickbait. Seriously. They wonder why YouTube has so many problems with clickbait. It's stupid. A great lesson in not over-focusing on initial real-time results. YouTube doesn't give up on your 10/10, so you shouldn't either. Your best videos for your well-being are the ones driving views a year after you upload them. Optimize for the long game. Yeah, you know what those videos are, hits, man? My washer and dryer video, until recently when the algorithm got changed or whatever, they finally went around to everybody in the world to be interested in them. And uglier side of George Foreman grills. It's just... many YouTubers be like, the algorithm doesn't show my videos to people. YouTube's response is always, well, check your impressions. Really, audience isn't responding well. But who are these impressions going to anyway? Feels like it's nowhere close to right. Okay. If a page loads and you're way down at the bottom of the list in a right panel while watching a video, and you've already made up your mind you're not going to watch anything except the topic you're already watching and the video's a little different, you don't get an impression. Is that automatically your fault as a YouTuber? Based on the feature service the click came from, I generally love to move more towards audience focus and segment metrics by how loyal the user was, from never watched before to super fan. This is why, I mean, people have made this clickbait game out of everything, but YouTube has been responding to it by rolling out tools that shut everything down. You got a neon thumbnail, like, watch this, it's crazy. You won't believe this. You get a neon thumbnail with clickbait crap, you can mouse over it and see that it's just a dude in a room. That's one of the reasons why my chat streams don't have thumbnails. Is I wouldn't do anything with them. They just mouse over and see that it's just me talking. Old school YouTube style. 2000s YouTube style. Original vintage YouTube style. There's not much to this. It's about what I'm talking about, more so than me sitting here. What can I do with a thumbnail for these? Other than, mislead people when they see this big neon thing of me going, ooh! And then they look at this and it's 3 hours of me talking about multimedia stuff. Seriously. Focus less a little explanation of video content, more on a reason a viewer might want to watch. Why? So the algorithm cannot pass it around and they won't see it anyways? Technology is the middleman. We know technology is the middleman. YouTube has bragged about technology being the middleman. When lieutenants at YouTube or whatever, not Susan Wojcicki herself, I think she might have done some kind of conversation to some people in the media about this, but like suppressing misinformation, elevating trusted voices. What do you think that is? That is the technology being the middleman between the content creators and their content and their ability to get views. Simple. Let's see here. The algorithm follows the audience. Let's see here. Oh, do you really want me to do like Google Trends and stuff? Make a video about this to get a bunch of viewers that don't care. YouTube recommendations have no awareness of revenue. The objective is to help viewers find videos they love that'll keep them coming back over the long term. Let's see here. If that was the case, though, channels who cover a lot of different topics, like question and answer channels, wouldn't have millions of subs and hundreds of thousands of views. Let's see here. I suppose I should I'm going to read the rest of this later. It isn't just you, the audience as well. Brands take time to develop. See. My best video got the worst views. Let's see here. They're optimized to satisfy viewers responsibly. Yeah, this is all PR crap. It was explained 10 years ago. Is this from when they moved over to... Yeah, they moved over to watch time. The problem is people want to see the number. Yeah, YouTube Now, Why We Focus on Watch Time by Eric Meyerson, Head of Content Creator Communications, August of 2012. I remember that. That's when everything crashed on my channel and I stopped seeing any decent views. That was horrible. The reason being was because of clickbait. There was videos getting lots of views but low watch time because people were mad and clicked away. But, all right. I've read enough of this guy's tweets. We'll take a look at some of that other stuff later on here. This guy is doing exactly what I've been seeing YouTube people do for years. Even the Creator Insider people, as friendly as they are, same thing. They just will not acknowledge that what they've built is a technological middleman. It's an AI and ML that comes between YouTubers and their ability to have an audience. You're not on a level playing field when you come in as a YouTuber. You have to hope the system lets you have some views. And for things like ad friendliness, controversial issues, promoting some things, demoting others, demonetization, the whole 9 yards. And by the way, monetization applies even if you're not a partner because of the right to monetize. So there will be videos flagged as ad-friendly, non-friendly behind the scenes, and people will get ads on your videos if you're not partnered. It's just all talking around in circles, literally everywhere else except the ugly truth, which is that the algorithm is in between you and the ability to have an audience. So how do you in any way get picked up by this stuff? I responded that I watch everything in real time before it got shut off, and it's an algorithm slot machine. And I'd rather make content and tell an ongoing story. And it's annoying to see things reduced to a game of chance. Nothing. I'll bet this guy has me muted, because anyone who disagrees with these glass-egoed big tech people gets blown off. Let me switch off to linking up to Firefox, and let's take a look at some of these. Let's take a look at some of these things. The bottom line is YouTube dug themselves a hole. YouTube dug themselves a hole with this crap. They dug themselves a hole. Let me see here. CRTs, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Where is the Great Geek House? See more. The Great Geek takes me to advanced mode. I don't want advanced mode, YouTube. Let's see here. Top content in this period. Let me just go to the analytics for the Great Geek House reshuffle. Continues, which is at 48 views and 5 likes. So we saw the beginning of the graph earlier. You want to see the YouTube algorithms not doing anything with a video? Oh, there might be something in play as of August 31st. What? Bringing it from like 30 views to 50 views? Are you kidding me? Browser mode, link up to Firefox. Here is the latest tech video with its paltry 46 views, when 5 years ago, it was a problem if we got less than 500. The decline of YouTube, the decline of revenue, the decline of everything. For the little guy, anyways. Here's the subscriber activity, and there's something starting as of August 31st with the algorithm. We'll see if it does anything. Or is it going to be like the Daewoo video? But you have the tools nowadays to see if the algorithm's doing anything. Look at your new viewers versus your returning viewers. If you're doing publicity, you got to factor some of that in. But when you see a giant spike and you see something take off, that's when you've seen the system do something for you. And then you see who sticks around and things along those lines. The problem is all this emphasis on get them to subscribe, get them to do this, get them to do that. It's not going to be a thing in the TikTok era. People just want to see stuff, sometimes in a rotating feed, and they really don't care who it is. But 70% of activity on this video is from subscribers. Let's take a look at what else has happened. YouTube shut down my PlayStation video, the discussion. Yeah, I've had some stuff from Stream Stuff ready to go for the longest time. We also looked at, of course, the PlayStation video, 2778 views, 31 comments, 31 comments, 61 likes, and the comments were all lit up. Like 9 dislikes, but that's just the sort of thing where you can't please everybody. Take one off, by the way, for the parasocial wacko who hates everything I do. 2778 views, and for once, my comments with 31 comments on it, it felt like 2015 again. It felt like finally my videos were getting views. People were responding and they're having fun in the comments. I remember those days. I remember when I get a whole bunch of memes and happy people in the comments. I throw a lot of hearts around nowadays when people bring back memories of that because so few people do it nowadays. It's just, what happened to YouTube? YouTube used to be a place where you could feel like somebody even if you were a nobody, and now we have this. Here's the algorithm shutting this video down. See that? Yeah. There it goes, and there it stops. Cut off. And we watched the impressions die before the views died. It wasn't people that drove that. It was the system. 2547 up to 2753, 2770 to 3, 4, bam. And no views in the last 48 hours. That's the video getting shut down in the algorithm. Hits, man, you can talk around in circles all you want. The tech is always in play. And I know that corporations give people scripts to stick to when it comes to talking about sensitive issues like this. People are sick and tired of fighting the algorithm to get anywhere on this platform, and they will go to other platforms very specifically to not have to do this. So, see that? One algorithm spike and then dead. Subscribers watch it, the algorithm passes around, dead. Do you really think there's nobody left in the world who'll be interested in learning about my tube TV when there is a huge, robust community on YouTube of people that talk about CRTs and fiddle with CRTs and tinker with CRTs all the time? Have we finally run out of people like that after 212 views in this big, big world of ours? Traffic source. YouTube recommendations, YouTube home, up next, subscriptions feed, channel pages, etc. 1 view in the last 48 hours. You seriously? I mean, my channel's back to like uglier side of George Foreman grills, getting endless views for whatever reason, day after day after day, while the stuff I actually want to see passed around goes nowhere. That's a crapshoot. That's a game of chance. That's luck, not skill. Returning to CRTs after over a decade. Analytics. Audience. See? Shut off. Dead, 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 dead. Like 3 views, 2 views, da-da-da-da-da-da. This is the algorithm turning you on and shutting you off. It's time to stop ignoring this. 58% from not subscribed. Decent amount of viewers from India. Probably because there's probably more CRTs in that part of the world still in use. Now let's look at some of the most popular videos on the channel. Can I sort by comments? No, but I can sort by views. And we can look at the dryer video. First impressions, the Magic Chef Portable Dryer. Audience tab will do lifetime since published. It won't show everything. But look at this. Stupid little video about my dryer that got over 150,000 views. Where does that come from? 99.4% people not subscribed. The algorithm, until the algorithm slowed down, stopped pushing it as much. But the algorithm is responsible for this traffic. This is what it looks like when it works, not killing your video. Then, of course, and these are like single like views from subscribers and stuff, things like that. Or maybe it's people that subscribe. Maybe it's people that subscribe, something like that. But look at all this. How about the washer video? Geek House Laundry with the Magic Chef Portable Washer. Analytics. 101 views in the last 28 days. The equivalent of a freshly uploaded video. This is from years ago, too. Audience. Since uploaded lifetime. This data didn't start popping up until the middle of last year. But you can still see that the algorithm is doing something with it. Versus the people that subscribe. Or maybe people coming over from the dryer video or something. I think I might have them linked together. You only get view uglier side of George Foreman grills. Why is this thing? Why is this thing, which is technically a little obsolete, since published? $160 in revenue in a couple of years. The algorithm passes it around. Why does this get passed around endlessly? Am I going to be the guy who criticizes George Foreman grills when Spectrum Brands has actually fixed a lot of the things that I was complaining about back in 2019? They have higher quality grill plates now. I'm actually ahead on grill plates because I don't cook stuff on grills much anymore. I'm not using the grill as a daily driver and wearing out the plates as quickly. So, seriously, why is this finding an endless audience? And they don't even like it all the time. Yeah, there's a pretty big dislike ratio on this. Why? Excuse me. Why is this going around and not something I actually want to go around? How about my parody of Green Ham Gaming? Incredible i7. The Incredible i7 Delosaurus can't even hit 2,000 views in 5 years. This is something I put effort into. 55 likes! Highly liked. 27 comments, didn't get views. Incredible i7 Delosaurus. Analytics, inspired by Greenham Gaming. 6 views in the last 28 days. Audience tab since uploaded lifetime. The algorithms do nothing with this pastiche of Greenham, even though there's plenty of Greenham fans out there. There's people that like that narrative tech video stuff. There were people saying nice things when I uploaded it too. But you don't see the algorithm doing stuff with this. This deserves more views, quite frankly. And a lot of my tech videos deserve more views. You know what one of the most common forms of feedback is that I get from people who become fans of my channel? Like, you deserve more views. Why didn't I find out about you earlier? Then why did YouTube suppress your channel? What more needs to be said? What more needs to be said? So, yeah, the YouTube algorithm is a middleman. The YouTube algorithm is a digital middleman that determines whether you go anywhere or not. And you know, YouTube's folks wonder why there's this cracking the code attitude where people are doing like fad things and in some cases risking account action for spam, scams, and deceptive content, which can include deceptive metadata, by the way. But people are wondering, these YouTube folks are probably wondering, why are people doing this? Because they think there's some way to do that, some way to crack the code. In the face of all the finger wagging that's going on from people that'll say literally everything except that the algorithm is a form of technology. It's not hard to grasp the concept of what social media algorithms are supposed to do. They all are supposed to link people up with stuff they'll be interested in. That's what keeps you spending more time on the social media site, whether it's YouTube, whether it's TikTok, whether it's Tinder, whether it's Facebook, whether it's Instagram, anything. Says nothing to content creators, though, about how to not waste their time making something that the system doesn't end up passing around. And blaming people for the technology, not succeeding and finding an audience in a big world with billions of people? Seriously. Blaming people for not doing a good enough job retaining viewers if the algorithm never showed you to viewers who will like your stuff in the first place. It's like, I got some people, probably still, who don't want to see anything but computer videos. And they'll do everything they can to get me doing nothing but computer stuff all the time. When I've said from the beginning that I am never going to be all about computers all the time. This will never be a computer channel. I have project systems to work on, but it's part of what I do. So if I go and I do something with a tube TV, then they blow me off. Is YouTube going to hold me accountable through the algorithm because of a lack of retention or whatever? 3842 subs, by the way. Looks like some people unsubbed. Or some inactive accounts got cleaned up. Or is this another one of those things where I have subs one day but not the next? Truth is what it is. YouTube is a big tech company. They have Google technology behind them. They have a search box. They're a highly used search engine as well. But the climate that exists nowadays is the technology is hostile to you. And people are hostile to you as well. Especially in the TikTok era where people want to watch a bunch of little tiny videos and just be entertained for 15 minutes on their phone instead of settling down and, you know, someone becoming like Steven Spielberg. They make a name for themselves. They grow a reputation. People know what to expect from them, and they like their stuff a lot. Anyways, let me take one last look at Twitter before we call it with this stuff. What other stuff? Did I mention anything else related to the algorithm? So, yeah, I mean, that's not going to do anything about me doing the tech videos. It will do something about me checking out other formats, like making video essays or YouTube shorts or something along those lines. And I will act like a content creator in this ecosystem, talking on Twitter, saying hi to people, cracking silly jokes, things like that. Maybe not so much with Twitter and Discord, but definitely Twitter and the YouTube community page. So let's see here. Is there anything else that I didn't bring that up here? There's something else. Is there anything else related to this algorithm stuff? So we talked about that. We talked about that whole situation here Oh, yeah. Debunking the classic YouTube semantics BS. The algorithm finds, let's see here, videos for viewers and not viewers for videos. This glosses over the ugly fact that your videos will go nowhere if the algorithm doesn't pick them up as a video found for viewers. Tech still reigns supreme. Make videos for people, not machines. YouTubers already do, and the machines make sure that people never see them. Plus, if you pay very close attention, YouTube eventually slips and admits that the algorithm is a digital middleman. If you dig out around and find any time YouTube leadership was interviewed and talked about limiting search and discovery on something, it's an admission the algorithm's a digital middleman. They can use the algorithm to shut down certain things, which means they can use the algorithm to shut you down. YouTube doesn't get to turn this rhetoric on and off when it suits them. Google has made YouTube into a giant Turing test, and YouTubers are the guinea pigs. And to think, there's talk of a creator economy when being a full-time content creator is getting less and less interesting as things become less reliable with stuff like this. In the day and age of the Great Resignation, where you might be in a situation where you're at, where there's an employer that would really love to have people that actually showed up and did the work, but they can't get them. So in my case, in my neck of the woods, it's easy to make around $20 an hour just being one of those people. You go in, you get the work done, you get your paycheck, and that's that. It's simple. You don't need this complicated computer crap where some technical glitch shuts down your livelihood, either through a false strike or through an algorithm shutting you down or turning you off, something that I've seen it do with the PlayStation video. You're darn right I'm angry about this. There's much better things I could have done with my time than make YouTube videos on a platform where it's a giant slot machine, essentially. And I'll bet any money, an algorithm slot machine. And I'll bet any money if I made that the title of a video, it would get taken down for promoting gambling or something. Truth is, it is a gamble on YouTube. You know? It's a gamble on YouTube. If you understand technology, you will know that there's more to the story besides a YouTube product manager telling you that you're the problem. When you upload a video and people choose not to watch it because of reasons that are their own, the people that don't click on your video when you get the impression, the people that don't click on your video when YouTube gives you an impression, don't have to explain why they're doing something else, watching something else, or currently interested in something else. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go so far as to say YouTube should incorporate watch later into this equation. People who admit, I like this video and I want to watch it, but I don't know if I have the time, should count as a form of engagement. Where's the system for that? But I'll tell you what, having a background in computers like I do, I'm familiar with the definition of algorithm from before it became a way that people complained about YouTube. Enough is enough. It's a very big world out there. When this technology works properly, it will actually introduce you to lots of people who will love what you do. Clearly, YouTube is far from there yet. So why have this kind of conversation about a creator economy and becoming a full-time content creator and turning your YouTube channel into a business when it's going to be a very questionable, in terms of reliability, business? And content creators are looking to put their eggs in different baskets because platforms keep showing up as unreliable. Like Tech Tangents, banned from Facebook because he didn't put a real name into the account that he wants to use for Tech Tangents. Established YouTuber wants to get involved on Facebook, gets banned because of the names thing. It's outrageous. Let me see if there's an update on that Tech Tangents thing. See here. I tried 10 hours ago. I tried joining and posting the Facebook group of the Big Box Collectors Marketplace, and my account was suspended. I'm betting they just close it too because I did not want to make an account in my personal name and they kind of skirted the rules about that. Yeah, see, that's the thing. This real names thing is one of the things that holds Facebook back. Sad. Huge platform, so much to offer, stuck in the MySpace days. And then there's a spammer at the bottom like, you can get back into your account by doing this. You know what? Switch link up to Chrome. Nope, not live control room. YouTube, no, Facebook. You could be the competitor to YouTube everybody's been looking for. But instead, you do this. Your account or activity on it does not follow our community standards. Your account's not visible to people on Facebook, and you can't use it. 30 days left to disagree with the decision. If you think we suspended your account by mistake, we can take you through a few steps to disagree with the decision. You have 30 days after you first took action on your account to disagree in your account, or your account will be permanently disabled. There are 30 days remaining. Learn more about community standards. Here's YouTube's competition, or could be YouTube's competition. Facebook needs new leadership. Zuckerberg needs better people working for him. So much more Facebook could use, but we talked about that earlier. So, how's that for a giant catch-up on everything that's been piling up throughout the week? Probably not the best way to do this, but plenty of stuff from streams material here. And I think my stuff from streams could actually use some better stuff. For now, though, we shall begin our Labor Day weekend by calling the ISP and having them run a line test on here. I might do some private streams that you won't be able to see to test the line to see if this is still going on. But, yeah. Happy Labor Day weekend, everybody. Till next time, this is MultimediaJay signing off. Thanks for stopping by.